Hello, hello. Yeah, we lost our camera, so I rebooted. So yes, I completely restarted the computer, and that's why it's taking me a couple minutes. Sorry. Chatbot. Lori went off somewhere in the meantime. Oh, Lori went off to another computer. I have the camera turned for her seat. I don't have to check this, what the stream was in your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, actually, I wanted to say, talk if we couldn't get this to come up again.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Off reticulating the splines, perhaps.
Yeah, hello. Hello, everybody. Now he'll cough, and it's like, good start to this fun. Yes, hi there, everybody. It is a lovely, gray June 4th day.
It's
here.
the 4th. It's the 4th of July. Almost a month early.
Yeah, it's not
4th
really.
of June ought to be just as big a event as the 4th of July, don't you think?
No, I don't think so. Okay.
We went to a barbecue last week. We had 4th of July type food for Memorial Day.
Yeah, we did. So, any rate, our theme this week is punning games. We're going to do some punning, and we'll talk about the penitentiary. We're also going to, Corey put up the Hearthstone thing. Well, that's one of the games we're going to talk about.
Yeah, Lori suggested Hearthstone Mercenaries mode that Lori's been playing a lot of that, and so she wanted to show that off a little.
Yeah, Heroine's Quest is a great game. It definitely gives you the.
We didn't get very far into it. We
No.
really need to.
We need to pick it up again. Well, we have.
I guess. Yeah.
This is what it's all
but
about.
it's the wrong time of year.
No, yeah, really. So here we are. This is the time to talk about games and what you want to play and what you like playing.
I'm trying to figure out whether David made an intentional pun there with Heroine's Quest is a really cool game.
Oh, well, whether he meant it or not, it works. Mm-hmm.
They're always intentional.
Especially when they're not, yes.
I wanted to make sure you didn't get a frosty reception.
Yeah, he just wanted to point it out.
We had a frosty reception with my camera. That's why it froze up earlier.
I see. Jokes are fundamental.
Ah.
Yes. It's another punderful
So
day in the
fundamentalists.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Should I put it on the hat?
You always do this. You're supposed. I say, are you ready to go?
Oh, the problem is when I put on my hat, I'm too warm.
And when you don't put on your hat, you feel like you're gonna blind people. So okay, that's a good point. Yep.
All right, go ahead, run the stream.
All right, fine. You're not allowed to nap. That is not on the list. I am so glad I caught this stream for the first time in months. Well,
welcome Anethel.
Yeah. I see it's all pun and games. Will anybody be losing an eye? I hope not. Yes.
Aye, Captain?
Yep. Indeed. There we go. So at any rate, we're supposed to be talking.
We are talking about, speaking of pun and games, we have a Discord that everybody should be on by now, but if you're not,
yeah.
Go over to Discord and search for Transolar Games.
Are you going to give them a link?
And, yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's right. We had this all set up. We had links and everything. And
more or less, some of them.
I always work on Sunday and miss your stream, but tomorrow I'm free. Oh, well. Guy from Andromeda, thank you for joining us.
Are you in tomorrow because you're down under?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, their streams are always Saturdays.
Yeah, here. It feels like a Saturday to us. At any rate.
It is Saturday.
Well, it is. That's why it feels like it, doesn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. You're bringing
Feels a lot like Christmas. All right.
Solar Games.
Oh, invite people.
Okay. Once again, we're going to give you a hidden...
All right. Here's a...
there's the link. Thank you for the link. This is an invite. Isn't you giving an invite?
Are you sure that's a current one?
Well, who knows?
Here's another one.
Oh, I'm from Sweden. It's 11 p.m. now. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. So
I
you
failed.
miss our stream because you work on Sunday and have to get up in the morning, and we're on late at night. I get it.
Okay, failed to send the message.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. You have to. That's
All right.
better.
The hero you bought. There's another. I haven't checked Big Dumb Bears, which probably works, but this one definitely works for 1 week.
Right. So join us because we have the penitentiary.
I thought they were going to join us because we were coming apart.
No, we're always coming apart. It can't do either or.
Some think we should be enjoined from running this stream.
I always work on Saturdays as well, but I'm lucky enough to work from home. Oh, okay, yeah, that's always good. Yes.
So you're pretending to work while you're watching our stream.
Secretly, yeah, having a fun and
We won't tell your boss.
Okay, all right.
So let's see. We had a discussion on Japanese toilet seats in the penitentiary recently. The hashtag penitentiary is the channel of our Discord that everyone should be going to for
living in the U.S. Yes, I wonder how many countries are represented here. Well, it depends on how many people show up.
I hear Turkey is now officially changing their name to Turkey.
Good evening, everyone.
And I don't even know how to type a T with an U with the amount. Actually, I do. I go into my character map.
Good evening,
friends. Good evening, friends. I know that one.
You don't?
No. What's that from?
Damned if I know. It was old. Very old.
I just remember good evening.
Atlantic
Welcome.
Canada here, so it's after 6 p.m. So, yeah, it gets pretty late, yeah. Well, we're glad you guys are making it no matter what time it is. All right, so did you want to read?
It's time for the stream.
It's time for the stream and time for a pun.
Do I want to read what?
You want to the toilet paper.
Oh, well, that was kind of silly.
It is kind of silly. You have to actually read it.
Okay, so Richard Lederer, who is the father of Howard Lederer, the well-known poker player, is well-known in his own right as a writer and is into the nuances of language.
And jokes and things like that. And he's
and
also
laughter.
a member of Mensa.
Very
he
active
had
in Mensa.
connections to your father. Your father
and
always...
my parents knew him through San Diego Mensa.
Yep.
Anyway, Richard Lederer has a site called verbivore.com. So I really should use it from here instead. Richard Lederer website is verbivore.com.
Cameron says, been a fan since about 1991 when I played Heroes Quest, the pre-lawsuit. On my friend's Amiga. Still looking for... Good. Well, welcome here.
Well, I've told the story of the Amiga development, but I'll give you the quick synopsis here. I was actually hired by Sierra to convert STI to the Atari ST.
Australia.
And then they brought in an intern to work with my code and convert it to the Amiga. And that became the Amiga version. And someone else came in and converted my code to the Macintosh because they're all 68,000 devices.
The official name of Hungary is... Yes, no one would be able to pronounce it, so unlikely, yes. But I find that interesting that we are calling these countries by names that they don't actually use. It's like, okay, we have a convention that their country is this, but they're really not this.
What's China called?
Well, I
don't remember.
Well,
I know they changed Peking to Beijing during our lifetimes.
Well, that's because they went to a more closer to the
more phonetic alphabet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one of the things from Richard, Richard did some contests in the San Diego Herald Tribune. Did some pun competitions. And one of the ones there was, I like the mycologist one personally. I said a mycologist wanted to add to her mushroom collection, but due to spore planning, it was such a smorgasbord, there wasn't much room for anything new. That's Claudia Lopez from Oceanside, where we live. And thing about the pandemic, that thing.
You could copy that and paste it, because really, yes, because you don't appreciate all the puns verbally. No, you've said that one, the toilet paper one.
I will post the toilet paper one. Should I put the credit?
You could if you wanted.
Okay, including the credit per our Richard Lederer's site. Keep wanting to call him Howard. It's about toilet paper.
In Hungarian, we don't call Germany Deutschland. We called it something else. Yeah.
Nemetozag.
Huh. Yeah.
Zhongguo. Middle Kingdom.
All right. So there is a long series of
Or
puns.
Middle Earth. China is Middle Earth.
It doesn't look like it. I don't think so.
I bet it does someplace, because China looks like everything. It's so big.
So, at any rate.
Anyway, interesting things happen in our penitentiary, and that's I just stole a couple of those. But if you scroll back a ways in penitentiary, you'll see all kinds of jokes.
Yes.
I don't quite get the trolley problem.
Okay.
It's like more like gummies.
Uh-huh.
There's the lemonade. Oh, I always liked this one.
Okay.
Whose skull is that? Raising it to my lips to take a drink. Oh, a guy named Philip. What's in it? Vodka and orange juice. Yes, it's a Phillips head screwdriver.
Okay.
I'm personally more fond of tequila sunrises than screwdrivers.
Amy Collision got to go to Hungary. That would be wonderful. I'd love
Let's see, where did I almost go? I almost went to Prague, Czechoslovakia, which is kind of near Hungary, when I was in high school, but I decided to go to Rome instead.
Yeast shortage? There's a serious shortage on glazes and things like that, so it's hard to do ceramics right now.
Yeast meets yeast.
Yes, I sent this. They have a pun jail there on Space Quest Historians Discord. Yeah.
Budapest, caught in a tourist trap. My mother has always really been into all things India, and she had a friend from India and she went to visit there, and he said, "Oh, you should look up my family." So she did. She looked up his family, and they proceeded to immediately try to sell her various trinkets and things, and figured, he was sending her to there because she was the gullible American. Photos of toilet paper being guarded by people holding automatic weapons is unreal and hilarious in a way, mostly terrifying.
Born and raised in Budapest, and my family's still there. I'm sorry you had to deal with the tourist traps. Yeah, well, all places have their tourist traps.
Every place has a tourist trap.
Yes, yep. And they make life miserable for the locals, I'll bet. Well, tourists in general are just, troublesome. Our town that we're living in now, Oceanside, is becoming more and more touristy, and therefore the locals are complaining bitterly. Good afternoon, Rich Gen X.
Yes. Welcome. So when I was an exchange student in high school in West Berlin, Germany, back when the wall was still up, I went into a pub that was near the U.S. Army base in Berlin. Oh, it's a phone call for you. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
And the bartender said that he prided himself on just being able to tell by people's accents where they were from. And,
it was Amazon.
Oh, wow.
That was great.
Amazon probably telling us about that iPad that we just bought.
Yes, probably.
Anyway, so I was talking to him in German, but he could tell. He said, I can tell immediately that you're English. And I nodded and said, yes, you got me.
Yeah. I still play Quest for Glory now. Actually, I'm streaming a wizard playthrough of all 5 games, which has been interesting. I've had a lot of support from other retro streamers. Well, yeah. Are you doing it on Twitch? Or are you doing it on, posting it on YouTube?
I think you need to do a circular playthrough. You go through the 5 games and back to the first game and keep on playing around and around and around. Yeah, and that's why it's called Retro Streamers. Or was that Revolutions?
It doesn't quite
Revo Streamers?
Revo Streamers, yeah.
Okay, let's play a game.
What game are you want to play?
I wanted to play Phrase Flummoxer.
Oh, okay, fine.
We're going to play a game with you. And what you'll do is you will join the queue with you. Lori's wearing you.
Yeah,
She's got the Hero You Sheep on.
I've got the, yes. 1 to 5 in each class.
Ah.
Okay.
That's quite a lot of play.
All right, let's see.
It's not like I've played World of Warcraft of every class for dozens or
Oh, my
hundreds of
daughter's name is Tilly. Oh, that's fun.
that's wonderful.
Just wait till she will love this game.
Yeah, we just had a recording, what we called callback or a pickup line session with Zero Fuzzle, who plays Tilly, and we were missing a couple hundred lines because of a mistake of the handing her the script. So we got the rest of those lines in, and she's just a joy to work with.
Yes, and we also got some of the missing kitty lines, so
Yep.
we're only missing one line now.
One line from Satori. Lori's been telling me to get in touch with the guy, and I'll do it real soon.
Yeah. Okay, right here on Twitch. At some point I'll add a speed run. Cool. You can use
Tilly is short for Matilda for the Roald Dahl book.
Okay, yeah. Tilly is about to turn 5 and go to kindergarten. Yeah, and she's definitely
a rogue.
Oh my gosh, she will like this one then.
Does she have long pointy ears?
Yes, you can use the hide and go seeky password to finish it in about 60 seconds. Wow. That's a speed run.
That was not intended.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to make, what is it, a queue? Is that the thing I use?
Yeah, you use a queue.
I'm going to open this queue, and you're going to type !play, every single one of you. And that will get you into the queue. And then I will start picking names from the queue to make guesses. Let's
You could replace the missing Satari line with a Quest for Glory 4 line. Listen, I'm telling you, Igor's death must be revenged. That would be
Revenged
amazing.
as opposed to avenged? Was it?
Probably revenged.
I thought it was avenged.
It probably was revenged. Then I wrote the thing. That's probably
No, you didn't write that line.
You did?
That was one of the...
that was a...
That was one of the ad-libs from the voice actor.
I don't think it was an ad-lib, was it?
Yep,
okay, fine.
Oh, yours death must be avenged. Oh, maybe it's yours.
Who knows?
Okay, we have some players.
What if I completely guessless glitched for the Rasalka as well? And Diane Pershing is coming to the neck of my woods in a few... Oh, cool. That'll be fun.
Oh, tell her to fix that line.
Yeah,
and,
have her send it in.
And send it into Activision and tell them this has to be put back in the game.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, are we just going to take people in order?
Yeah, we'll just take them in order.
All right. Some people in the queue are Schumann.
Oh, thank you, whatever that is.
Whatever that was.
Yes,
something amazing just
Asian
happened.
Waste.
Asian Waste did something?
It looked like that. I mean, it was so fast.
Oh, subscriber Prime!
Asian.
Hooray!
It's Asian,
Thank you.
yes. I was
Asian Waste.
Yeah, okay, fine.
What did you think it was?
No, I could only see part of the word, so I wasn't sure.
Could have been Aslan.
You could have been.
Could have been the...
Yeah. All right, so anyway, we were playing a game.
Well, that's because we are a Prime Discord server.
I've always been a movie guy, but recently I started reading various books. I'm reading The Never-Ending Story, and I bought The Hobbit and Loader. Which fantasy books do you recommend?
Oh, boy, this whole
that's
list.
an open...
Okay, Patricia McKillip. Did she do the...
She did Riddle Master of Head.
The Riddle Master of Head, spelled H-E-D. Read those for sure. She also did Forgotten Beasts of Eld,
which was very good.
which is related, but I don't know. Riddle Master to me is the winner.
Is the winner, yeah.
Okay, Godstalk.
Yes.
By P.C. Hodgel.
Yeah, these are older books, and so therefore they're...
Therefore we read them.
Yeah, therefore we read them. Godstock came out when I was a teenager.
Anything by Tim Powers if you like dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Drawing of the Dark. There you go. It says dark right in it. The Anubis States.
And Sir Terry Pratchett.
Sir Terry Pratchett. Yep. Everything by all the Discworld books. Everything by Sir Terry Pratchett. We especially like the Witches and the Watchmen.
The Watchmen series, they're all set in the same world.
The Night Watch.
The Night Watch, yeah.
Yep. Anything by David and Lee Eddings.
I don't care much for that one, but yeah.
I liked them at the time. And what was the other epic series that came out along? So there's the Belgariad. Is that Eddings?
No, I think that's Eddings.
And what was the one with Silverthorn? And those things.
Yeah. Any rate.
I don't know. Hold on.
Well, we're happy to talk about books because we've read an awful lot about it. Yeah.
Feist. Raymond Feist.
Raymond Feist. Okay.
Go through the Raymond Feist books. other fantasy series. I rather enjoyed the. Okay, so the one that did the detective that's always dealing with the occult, but
Yes.
but he did the fantasy
You like
series.
the other one.
I like the fantasy series. Patricia Reed pops up as
yeah, she was
good.
interesting.
She's a good writer. Oh, come on now. The Malloreon. We have not actually read the Malloreon series, at least I haven't. Oh, the King Killer Chronicle. Yes, King Killer Chronicle is a 3-book. It's a trilogy that he's come out with 2 books, and the last book gets postponed over and over. Oh, Lori. Oh, Jim Butcher. Yes, Jim Butcher. Was Peace Talks a good book?
I didn't get to it yet. That's
the last Dresden Files.
Dresden Files
Dresden
with
Files
Harry Dresden,
but I like the other ones.
Wizard.
I like the other ones by Jim Butcher.
Magic realism in this case.
Yeah, and his
nothing in that book. Doesn't even.
The Calderon, the Furies of Calderon. It's called the Codex Alera, Alera. The Codex Alera. I really enjoyed those books.
McKinley, yeah, she's good. George R.R. Martin, if you like to read very, very long books, forever and ever. Yes. Then, there's Charles DeLint. There's a lot of authors out there that are worth reading. Let's put it that way.
The Handmaid's Tale is kind of a cross between fantasy and social commentary.
Yeah, let's see. And then, of course, my favorite book of all time,
one
of my list.
Good Omens.
Good Omens by
Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I was a big Heinlein fan as a teenager, and
there's the Harpist in the Wind.
Yeah, this is part of the Patricia McKillop. This is part of the Little Master Head series.
And here's Godstock, the original cover.
Hello.
So, at any rate, there are.
It's another call from Amazon.
Oh, that was very good of Amazon to call.
This is pretty much what our phone does. Oh, don't lose all my books. Piers Anthony has his the Ultimate Pun series. The Spell for Chameleon is the first book in that Xanth series. But I really liked Split Infinity. Split Infinity series.
Yep.
Piers Anthony, Split Infinity. And this is... okay, so the field has forever been called science fiction and fantasy. And Piers Anthony is the first one I know of to actually take that literally and write a book that is science fiction and fantasy. It starts out in a science fictional world and transitions into a fantasy world and back and forth between them.
I read recently that J.R.R. Martin writes using WordStar on a PC running DOS because he doesn't like autocorrect. Oh my God.
Good for him.
WordStar was a real pain to use.
I used WordStar.
Yes, I did too.
The problem I had is I used WordStar at home and I used the VI editor at work. And VI is command oriented. If you want to type something, you had either A for append or I for insert, depending on whether you want to go after or before. And WordStar is type stuff in editor, so you have to use like a control key for a command. So I was constantly having WordStar files full of H's and J's, which are go to the left and go down.
WordStar is one of the first really effective word processors, but it was definitely a pain to use to get it to do anything.
:Q, I do not remember. Was that the quit command?
Any rate, we were trying to play a game. We're very easily sidetracked, though, because we don't care. We are not goal-oriented here. We are entertainment-oriented here.
Oh, are we entertaining then?
Yes, we're trying to
So my word story is that Microsoft Word 1.0 or 2.0 was out at the point when I started working on a program called Stylist. I'll type it in, Stylist.
Quit with a bang. Yes, damn it, I want to quit without saving. Yes.
So I was working on Stylist, and that was my word processing / desktop publishing program for the Atari ST. And it was intended to to be a word killer. And at that point, Word didn't do much. It was not much beyond WordStar, and so that didn't seem like a problem. The problem is it took me a couple years to write the program, and by the time I did that, they were on like Word 2.0 or 3.0, and they'd all of a sudden added all kinds of desktop publishing features.
And also the ST was obsolete already. So
yeah,
well, we always
but it seemed
back
like
the wrong horses.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yep.
I picked the Atari ST because I eventually wanted to convert to the PC and Windows using GEM, and I'd heard that Atari was using GEM to do fonts and stuff like that. Well, it turns out that they got as far as the beta version of GEM from Digital Research, and they didn't want to pay for it. So at that point, they split and never got the final version that had all the fancy features that we needed for a desktop publishing system.
Well, remember that the older programs taught you one thing: you had to save early and often. So that was good practice for all the games you guys played in those days.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to start this up, and I have named 3 names.
Schumann,
3D
Brainiac,
Blast, OSU Brainiacs, and Control XZ. And here is my desktop.
With an ugly greenish yellow color.
Well, I was trying to make it yellow.
You can't make yellow unless it's a pure, because it just, any grays in it, it gets green.
All right, fine.
No,
Menu,
don't bother,
menu
you'll
settings. So like FFFF00.
I don't know. It sounds like yellow, yeah.
There we go. There's a very, very
chartreuse.
yellow.
Yeah.
There's an extremely yellow background. I was trying to make it slightly less yellow than that.
All right, we got a lot of letters. Yes. My eye. All right. It hurts the eyes. Fine.
All right, fine. I'll go back to
make it a blue.
CCCC.
Yeah.
Too much green?
Too much green. I said anything other than pure with
no, it's orange.
Fine. Orange is fine. Go with
all right,
orange.
It's less. It won't hurt your eyes as much. There's our phrase. The first 3 people I have named. I will name them again, and they're over here somewhere.
Yes, I loved that. I was reading a thing.
Oh,
if you scoot that down a little, I can read the new ones. Scoot it down in your. No. That's that way. Yeah. Bring it down so I can read it when the other thing's up over it. Yes, I love that you two didn't put a standard 10,000 Sierra deaths and hard in-game lockouts in the Quest for Glory game. I didn't like those in games. So
our original theory was that we were going to have some Sierra deaths. We did put in some Sierra deaths.
Yes.
I think the original theory is we were going to put in none.
No. We believed in death.
We believed in death in combat.
They wanted death to be something you had to work for. I mean, that you had to go out of your way to do. We found out that we were not correct in that. We made death very easy, but we tried not to. Yes.
Naming Collision is impressed by our ability to broadcast lethal yellow across the internet.
Okay, fine. Let's go back
to
it.
Lovely yellow. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, I was trying to say that we have Schumann and OSU and Control XZ.
Yes.
Control Z used to be end of file on CBM.
We wanted deaths to be something you had to work for going
That's
into
right.
the quotes list. Thank you, yes. All right, you know what we must do. Q and Z. Let's get the game going.
All right, Q.
No,
Q's.
Q. You're off the
Who's
Q.
next? Do we give him a Z for free?
No. Well, we could. Free.
Oh, okay. Free Z.
There's
no
a free
Z's.
Z, no Z. Okay, fine.
No
we
Q's,
cleared
no
that
Z's.
out. All right, Brainiac went T and S. He went with the good ones. T, there is an S, and there is a T.
Those are both there. You may go again and clear the board.
Free Z. H and L.
Oh, okay. We'll let Control XZ go. That's fine.
Can I buy
H
a vowel?
and L.
We do not vowels.
Vowels are free.
Vowels are free. Yeah, when it's your turn. Yes, H and L and the.
OSU can go again, and Control XZ can go again.
Yeah, because they both were in here. A-T. A-T.
All right.
You're correct.
When I first started developing for the Atari ST, I got an AT&T 6300, which was a MS-DOS
That's
clone.
entertainment.
That's A.
Okay. Vowels are free.
An E-I-O-U-Y and a couple consonants on my turn.
But only get 2 at a time. H and L. Okay, so we're looking for
we need some more letters
Control.
from Control X and OSU wants what's
H
another H and N? Didn't we already do an H and an N?
We
didn't do an N.
We didn't do the N.
Okay,
okay,
those are both there. S&T again.
S&T, yeah, I think that's a good bet.
Sure. We're all there.
They are there.
Now, if you note down at the bottom, we have a list of letters that have been chosen so far. If they are red in that list, they do not appear anywhere. If they are yellow, there are no more of them. If otherwise, they have a number, a little subscript that you probably can't read, like T sub 3, means that T has been guessed 3 times successfly.
Brainiac's going W and Y.
There might or might not be. There's a W.
There's a Y. Yes. All right. Control Z, XZ. You get to go again too. So.
It isn't Judge Dredd's mantra of "I am the law."
We are not the law. We're the law breakers. Okay.
P and X.
P and X.
P. No P.
No P. That's interesting. Your turn.
No
is
X's.
Over. No X's because we did. Brainiac still is going, and
Brainiac
our
gets
next
going,
people
and we
is and Murdoch.
Okay, next 3. Along with Brainiac will be Murdoctopus, Naming Collision, and Belixar.
Okay.
I and O for OSU.
I-O. So off to work I go.
I-O.
Okay.
Pardon my levity, as our dinner here is being made.
Oh,
so he is floating in the air.
You're a levity. He's
are
levitating.
you helping to make the dinner? Oh, it's been a rough day for us. UW, University of Wisconsin or Washington, your choice.
You can guess if you get the 2 letters right. So, did you...
Yes, if you take your turn and you get 2 letters right, then you can guess. OSU wants Catan. You can go ahead and guess some letters, Murdoctopus. Go ahead.
Yes, if you get 2 letters...
No, you can guess letters right now.
Yes, you guess the letters and then you can guess the quote.
I understand that, but I don't think that's the question. The question is, when can you guess letters?
I don't know. It says, when can I guess?
Yeah, right now. You can guess some letters right now.
Is there such a word as colony?
In Pundum, maybe.
Yeah.
And Murdoctopus is going to guess an E and an N.
Okay.
Those are picks rather than guesses.
Yeah.
Naming Collision can't guess yet, but he's figured out one word and finding it a peculiar one so far.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see your word there. Aluminium.
Yes, calumny sounds like a good word for a mobile game. Calumny is in fact a word. Calumny would be something similar to match 3, but maybe different.
I know what this is, but I don't have ready recollection.
Probably a Tetris, filling in columns instead of rows.
It's a columny.
That would be the columny game.
Yeah.
And you're creating colonies.
I know blank when I see it. Okay, let's go with an A and C, he says. A, C.
A, C. You can keep guessing letters, Murdoctopus.
Murdoctopus, because you haven't lost yet.
Yeah, you haven't lost. You can keep guessing letters.
And Brainiac keeps going forever, so until he screws it over.
So keep going, Murdoctopus. Many letters.
Yes.
So we did the AC.
Yeah.
See if you're both doing it, INT. Okay, sounds good. Because if you're both guessing letters, it'll go faster than if only one person is guessing letters.
Okay, we got those. Keeps going.
Do 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 do. Keep going, Murdoctopus. And unless you can put another guess, you're a few ahead of Murdoctopus.
Yeah. Okay. One of those days. It's like an A and an S. My turn to answer it.
That might be real.
Might be. Hello? It's Amazon again, I guess. They really want us to do something.
They're really looking for suckers. I did log on to Amazon earlier to look at books. All right, so there was an O and an M there. Mom's in the other room. Lori's helping her. P and an S. P. Oh, no P's. We'll give you your S, though, because I've been doing that for everyone else. There is another S, but there are no P's. Murdoctopus is out. No. OSU Brainiac. Next up are Naming Collision and Belixar, and either of you may start guessing letters if you wish. Womp womp.
BH? Did you get the BH?
I think so, yes.
Okay, fine. Yes, Corey's mother answered the telephone with the remote control for the
TV controller.
Yeah. So the TV is on now. E and H.
E. H.
No
there are no more H's. There were exactly 3 H's in the message.
Okay, so now
And Rich NX said no P. The phrase went to the bathroom before the stream started.
Okay. You don't have
Well, A for sure. What about an M as well? How about an A? You have filled out the word calumny. Or calumny. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Calumny.
Is it calumny?
I don't know. Jeez.
We only read words. We don't
right.
We don't pronounce them.
So who's else? Oh, Belzar is in the game now.
I have actually combined 2 game lines here, so it's a little trickier than just one game line.
Yes.
Even if you had the script, you wouldn't find them all in one line.
Belzar, guy from Andromeda could start too. Double E said.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so guy from Andromeda and Cameron, you can come in when you wish.
Right, you can add to this.
And then we'll all get totally confused.
Yes.
I put in the double E's.
You did. Okay, fine. So we got double E's. E's are a pretty good bet. And so, yes.
We have 4 E's so far.
Belzar is still working too. Belzar, yes.
Yep.
Okay, so we have 3 people that can be putting things in besides Brainiac. Double I, please.
Aye, aye.
Aye, aye. It's still there.
Ay, 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 ay. Canta y no llores. Or I, your mother swims after troop ships is the other version of that. I'd like to add I and G.
And an on beyond zebra. Okay.
I guess that's something on beyond zebra. Okay, how about an E and an A?
That's also a pretty...
those are both there. There are 5 A's so far. There are 5 E's so far.
And then Belzar says an R.
Okay, we'll get an R. There's an R. And we have a T and an E for Cameron.
Okay.
I like this form of doing it, having everybody go and...
Yeah, who knows?
Something on Beyond Zebra is Dr. Seuss
Yes,
reference.
I remember that one. I remember the books.
I bet there is a D following that I.
Rich isn't even in the game. He hasn't signed up. Yeah.
Rich
How about an
NX?
A and S?
A and S. A-S.
He's the kibitzer in the back room. Yeah. All right.
That wouldn't necessarily be ID. It could be I am. AS is in there. Okay. What's the yellow letter H in the UI? The yellow letter H means there have been 3 H's in it, but there are no more H's. Somebody tried a 4th one and failed.
I before E and not a D. Yes, that's what the yellow means. It means you don't need to guess it.
It means don't try that one anymore. Don't try any yellows or reds.
Don't try this at home. How about an L and a W?
Who said don't try it at home?
I did.
Oh,
there are no more
W's. We're out of W. There were only 2 W's.
You know, R and D were the research and development.
Wait, who did the I and W? L and W. That's naming collision. You are out.
Yeah.
For the moment. R and D.
R and D.
Those are both there.
And then Belzar.
What's an R?
There's still another R. A tragic shortage of W's. Only single U's remain. Yes. Okay, we're getting there. You're getting a lot of words there.
I read the half notes. What about the 8th notes? B and R. B. You have filled out a word. R. You recognize the phrase?
Okay, finally, yes.
That's a bass calumny. I know treble when I see it.
Okay.
I read or I read. Indistinguishable.
All right. He said, okay, have we got...
Did we do the other B?
Did we do the other B?
There's another B.
B. And,
all right. There's an F and a V.
And...
there's an F. There are no V's. Your turn is over.
Yes.
We have finally eliminated OSU Brainiac.
I see where the puns are going. Enough to make me sick. Okay. I'm out. Great. Yes. E.
E for Belixar. There is. Yes.
There is.
Oh, we have a guy from Andromeda and Cameron have joined the queue. So they could make some guesses.
Yeah, they should be guessing. They've been guessing. Okay.
And OSU Brainiac is back in there.
Yes, he read the clef notes. Yes.
Okay, Murdoctopus and
Cameron says T and A.
There's Cameron and, Cameron. T and A.
And then we have...
They're both there.
The M and N.
M and N. M. No more M's.
Matt Target is gifting a 1 subscription to the
thank you, Matt. And you gave a tier 1 sub to Hack Norris.
Thank you.
Which is Saranka backwards.
Oh, good. All right.
Belcher wants an I. There's an I.
There's an I.
Guy from Andromeda wants a dang.
It's a dang, but there's no dangs to there. Yes.
Let's do that. D. No D's.
Okay, dang didn't
work. No dangs.
Uh-huh.
That's a base calumny. I know trouble when I see it. I read
Yeah.
Okay, he's trying to give away clues. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah. And thank you. Yes. Like Norris, you got a new subscription. Just what you needed. Yes. Anybody who's still in this game at this point? We know that Belzar is. They could still be guessing. R.
R for Belsar.
Oh, no!
No more R's. All the R's are gone.
R's. Okay.
Murdochtopus, I think, is still in it. Are you not? I think Murdochtopus is still alive.
Then that means he's the last to go, and then we'll have to open the queue again. Well, we'll have to get the new people off the queue. Yes. Belzar said R. Then R is over. No more R. Pirate unapproved. Iambic pentameter. Okay. I'm out. Okay, I was out, but I rejoined.
Okay, the names are Guy from Andromeda, Cameron, OSU, and Murdochtopus.
Okay.
Murdochtopus is still in the first run, and Guy from Andromeda and Cameron are still in the first run. I don't think I eliminated any of them yet.
We eliminated somebody.
Oh, I eliminated Guy from Andromeda by putting the D from dang. And
no, but that doesn't count. Yeah.
He's been hanging out at the Hero U music class.
Ah.
Well, if we actually could do these games like one a year, like we intended, instead of one every 5 years, we'd probably have a game with bards by now.
Okay, yeah.
Is that? Wait a sec. I want to know if that's a lambic pentameter rather than iambic, because we have sheeps at Hero U, and it's pentameter.
Murdochtopus went out with the P. How about an A and T?
A. Wait, I don't know if I'm in the right screen.
I don't know.
A.
There are 8 A's there.
There's an A. It's in the last word.
And there are 7 T's.
7 T's. Well, that's
a
lot of
E
T's.
from Guy from Andromeda.
Double E. E.
Correct. Yes.
You got it.
You keep going. You're still in the running.
So it is indeed not half notes.
I should take this time to really applaud the name Disbarred Bards. Well, yes, I guess I now know which game.
I think disbarred bards are ones that have been let out of prison and no longer be behind bars.
Murdochtopus requests an E and an O.
E and O.
Yep, they're still there. So we are
doing pretty good.
10 E's and 3 O's.
So I did put 2 phrases together. If I just done the one phrase, we'd be done by now.
Yeah.
That's best base calumny. I know trouble when I see it.
Yes.
That was actually the second half of one of, actually it was a full line, but it was part of a conversation.
You because there, Rich.
You because there is a but here. You. There's a you.
Okay.
All right.
I see that. Yes. Okay. Belzar, you can guess too. We're just open to.
Yeah. Just everybody. Everybody.
Give your letters.
We're gonna close the queue. I'm gonna take out the last 2 words. Next, and everybody can start.
Murdochtopus says letters. A U and a Y.
U and a Y.
What do you know? They are
J
there.
J and a 6. There are no 6s. There are no numbers in these.
J. All right. Well,
I can't give you a 6.
Was it J there? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a J.
Okay. And
there's
then
a J. There's a Y.
There's a Y, and now a double L, another L, and an L.
Double L. L.
Yep.
Yes, both
the
there.
L's are there.
That's the 4th L.
S and T. Wants another S and T. I wasn't expecting there to actually be a J. Yeah, it's sort of like
S and T?
Cameron.
Oh, S. Oh, S. I might have hit that twice.
Oh well.
T. They're there.
Okay.
Okay.
And then wasn't there?
Yes.
Almost. Okay, so don't cut. Yes, so.
Which Gen X is trying to solve this for everybody.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
see.
let's do a C and an L.
C and L.
A C, there's another C. There's another L.
And Belzar said a C.
A C and a J.
No,
no
more
J,
J's.
no more J's.
No more J's. And Baraniac has it. And Belzar says G.
Belzar says G.
Uh-huh.
S and F.
S and F.
Okay, you guys have 30 seconds to solve this before OSU Brainiac posts the answer.
So, yeah, if you got it, write it.
If you got it, write it. L. Do, 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 do. Oh, that's sick. I can't use that music. Do, 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 do.
Okay, he says I and N.
N. Those are both there.
Uh-huh. Yes, you can solve this the hard way of actually getting the rest of the letters.
L and O.
But Schumann typed.
It's coming in. That's a base calumny. I know treble when I see it. I read the clef notes. I'd call you a liar, but I'm just stringing you along. Hooray! And that is Shonda ALS. It's sheet music.
Okay.
Which is to say that's part of the them becoming best friends, so to speak.
Oh, it's late in the game, huh?
It's late in the game,
Okay.
yes. The
Okay.
two of them are flirting.
The two Punjin masters going at it. Okay.
But, of course, this was all Lori's.
Yeah, well.
Lori wrote this game. I gave her a few ideas, but not very many.
Oh, God. Making lines like that is pure... Boy, it's just pulling teeth. It really is. You're agonizing after every bloody line. So, yeah.
Every line.
Okay, Corey was at the Hero U music class again. Yes, indeed. And I will be lurking. Dinner is ready. Well, have a good meal.
All right, have a nice meal. And if
day.
it's really good, quick take a picture before you eat it and post it up to our Facebook Heroes Feast page.
Yes, and even if you don't, tell us what you.
And otherwise, do we have a food channel on Discord?
No, I don't know that we do. Do you? Yeah. Oh, it didn't shut off. You got to shut it again. Wireless CA, yes. I figured this is Hero U phrase with the glorious musical puns. Sushi Bandit got here. Yay! So glad you guys,
I guess I had to push talk before I pushed down.
Could be. And he's currently replaying Quest for Glory 4, yes.
That's good.
I knew what was up with base calumny. Yeah, it took me. I was thinking it was a fish joke.
What?
I always thought we would be going into fish puns with the base colony. I don't remember what I wrote. Jeez. It's all,
Fishtails. Fishtails, wonderful, wonderful old novelty song.
Yep. So, at any rate,
look up Fishtails and Dr. Domano.
Yeah, really. Cameron subscribed at Tier 1. Congratulations, yes. Did people at Sierra have to restrain your pun lines? No. They didn't actually, but I didn't have characters that were punsters. It's a matter of who actually speaks these things. Aeolus and Sean having these pun downs was just a perfect combination, and it really was,
The reason they're called pun downs is because you usually only see Aeolus just before you go to bed.
Yeah, that's it. Pun down, yeah. So, it's all a matter of what you actually...
throughout my career at Sierra and other places...
Yes. It's a pronunciation issue. Yeah, I read it as, Bass... So it was
a bass calumny.
It's a bass calumny, so we should be going into fish jokes. So I wasn't getting it done. Yep, exactly. So on the game side of this thing, I thought I would talk about some the game that I'm actually.
These kind of lines are difficult to translate, by the way.
They're terrible. That nobody can get these in another language because they're so language specific. Yes. Oh God. Yes. Damn it. We didn't get the fish puns.
Wow.
So at any rate,
and Cliff Notes referring to Cliff Notes. A lot of these things are very culture specific.
Yes, that's true. And of course, the phrase stringing you along. I've never been. They're kind of. I grew up playing games. Okay, the board game kind of games and chess and things like that. And I didn't like games that were the war games that you'd have 5 billion people on the board and it took forever to play, or a game like Risk,
or that I'd lose on the third turn.
Yes,
so
the game like Risk, where you take start out and you were doing really well, and then the two other people would conspire against you and sweep you over and destroy you entirely.
My one and only turn time playing Diplomacy, I on the initial draw I got England. Everybody said, "Oh, you're really lucky. England always wins. It's the strongest, most powerful." I said, "Okay, well I'm new to this game," and it was the second or the third turn that basically every other player ganged up on me because I had England and obliterated me.
Yeah, well.
So I didn't make it through 3 months.
Okay, didn't you want the magic user in Quest for Glory to be a funny punny gnome originally, but having different class sprite for each class would have taken too much sprite? We did want to have a different class for every character, but at that point, I remember my image for that character, but I'm not sure I really had
the magic user.
It certainly would have been a magic user. It would have gone with the rogue, because it's sort of like coming off the
rogue hobbit. Hobbit thieves.
Without being a hobbit. Well, keep on laughing, stole all the fish puns for himself, yes.
Yeah, Hobbit Thieves were the basic concept in Dungeons & Dragons, and then they discovered that you really don't use the word hobbit.
I liked Scrabble. Scrabble's a really good game because it takes a lot of thinking, and it isn't just pure luck. It does have a lot of luck.
Well, when I visited Lori and her mom, we played Boggle.
Yeah, which is a Wordle game kind of thing, because you're trying to make as many words out of letters.
You basically got letter cubes, and you shake them around, and then you've got to connect the words.
But the first game I really grokked and really loved was Cosmic Encounter. Now, Cosmic Encounter is a chaos game. It's a very simple game with simple rules and a simple board, and everybody's playing with a different set of rules. And you've got different advantages with the rule that you play with. And the trick is trying to use that special advantage to win the game.
Yeah, I first discovered Cosmic Encounter at a Sherlock Holmes convention of all things, and then I'm pretty sure I introduced it to you, but I think
no. We had it at home, and we had all the extensions for it and things like that.
Expansion, yeah, but we didn't really care for most of the expansions because they complicated it.
Yes, but we did add more characters, and we played marathon games at conventions where there were 12 people all playing at the same time. Murdoctopus just subscribed. The trick was you had a negotiation phase in it, and you could either get people to join you to your side to help you, take a country,
help the attacker or help the defender,
and things. And yes, thank Murdoctopus.
And so people would figure out how close you were to winning. And if you were close to winning, everybody would gang up against you.
Yeah, or in my case, if I figured I could win, I never asked for people to help me because I just took it then. And so I was really ruthless. It was one of the most ruthless games I ever played.
When I learned the game, I learned that there was never any outright winner. That it always ended up because it was impossible to win against all the other players. Therefore, you always got 2 or 3 players to join together and win at the same time. And the way Lori played it was cutthroat. She said, heck with that.
Yes,
I'm going for the win.
Yes, if I can go for the win, I'll go for the win. And it was the only game that I really played. Catan, Ride with Baton, or The Man. I always thought it rhymed with baton.
Catan, yeah, baton is the way I play it.
We found the Swedish version at a flea market when we were young. It was the most complex game we had at the time. I was so glad to learn the original and that it's still being made. Yes, Settlers of Catan, I have not actually played.
I played one very short session. I played 2 games of it, so I really didn't learn it very well. And I can tell it was a good game, but the problem with board games of that type is you need friends. You need people to play it with.
Yeah, you do.
And we're not very social people, so.
And we were living rather isolated. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, living up in the mountains, 5 miles from your neighbor, is a little hard to find game players.
So then after that came Magic the Gathering, which I felt was kind of an extension of the idea that Cosmic Encounter had, that everybody had a different power, and so the cards gave you different powers to win the game. And the game, it was an interesting game. I really liked the first board game version of it, where you had this little adventure board. You were going around on it trying to get to some place, and you kept having the encounters, which were.
Oh, are you talking about the Crown one?
No, the Magic the Gathering computer game. It was called Magic the Gathering.
The Magic Gathering. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were talking about the computer game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Magic Gathering computer game was very clever. The problem with it is they didn't debug it.
Yeah.
It crashed constantly. But it was really clever and creative because it was basically an RPG, but instead of fighting your sword battles, you had Magic the Gathering duels.
Card game battles, and it was really cute. So I enjoyed that game.
So we got into Magic originally because when we were working all that overtime, 60, 70-hour weeks at Sierra, our son, there wasn't really an after-school program, so we used to drop him off at the local game store. So I will hit that and then that. Oh, I think that was a real one.
Oh, well, too bad.
Anyway, so that basically... we would drop them off, and then after school they had Magic the Gathering in their back room, and then later Pokemon, but Pokemon wasn't around at that time, and so I started getting them decks and cards and so on. I went to Comic-Con and they were selling Magic the Gathering. I couldn't figure out why the decks they were selling were so expensive. The packs they were selling were so expensive. It hadn't occurred to me that it was like different editions, and they had some of the early editions where they were selling for a high price. So I had no clue, but then I started playing it and got really into it, and deck building, going to tournaments and stuff.
I didn't care for the game itself. I liked the computer game because it was simple.
And our friend Jim also took up the game, except he didn't care about the game at all, except...
He liked the cards. He liked the art on the cards.
Yeah, he liked the art of the cards. He liked making goblin decks and stuff like that. And he was a collector, so he made sure that he put together a complete set of every edition.
As a result, we had far, far, far too many Magic cards, and we still have
We still do. I got rid of half of them, but I still have half.
Ever played Munchkin? We did not actually play
we
Munchkin.
We played it a few times. We played with Michael and Vince at the park at the conservatory in San Francisco.
I wasn't there. That was when you were there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were there that time, and I didn't actually play it in. Yeah. Art of the Cards,
I played a couple games of it, but that was actually kind of a fun game, and the whole idea of Munchkins, is what I called Michael Munchkin when he came with us to Science Fiction Con.
So then came World of Warcraft, and of course we're still playing World of Warcraft. And then World of Warcraft did its thing to do a few experimental different games, and one of them was Hearthstone. And Hearthstone was their version of Magic the Gathering.
I was just going to say, so Blizzard was trying to capitalize on the success of World of Warcraft and said, what's our next big project going to be? And they started working on a thing that was codenamed Project Titan.
I'm going to turn off the television.
Yes, and I actually interviewed for Project Titan. That was going to be some kind of a game in space with superheroes and stuff. And basically the project, they started doing playtesting on it and said this isn't fun. They did the same thing with, they did an adventure game that was going to be called, now I can't remember it, but it was the Warcraft adventure game. And they decided that wasn't fun, so they canceled that very close to completion. But Project Titan, they canceled, and so many people were burned out from having spent multiple years in this giant project that failed, that one of them suggested, why don't we just do a card game? Magic the Gathering's popular. Let's do this card game. We'll call Hearthstone, based on the Hearthstone. It's a teleport device that takes you back to your home in World of Warcraft. And they made a fun card game that was a lot like Magic the Gathering and had somewhat streamlined rules, was similar. The other game they came up with was Heroes of the Storm, and that was based on League of Legends, which in turn was based on a tower defense fan expansion to, I think, StarCraft or one of those. So things all kind of go round. Lori was leading up to... I found Hearthstone kind of not that intriguing because it felt like it was a huge luck factor. World of Warcraft, your luck factor was whether you had enough mana or not too much mana and stuff. But Hearthstone felt like if you didn't get the right cards at the right time, that it didn't matter how well you played.
So I wasn't much of a Hearthstone fan either.
Um,
However,
but we're World of Warcraft addicts,
and we play Heroes of the Storm, which is the other game that they came up with.
We got into Heroes of the Storm solely because they offered a promo that if you played a certain number, if you got to a certain level in Heroes of the Storm or played 50 games or something like that, then you could get a mount in World of Warcraft.
Yes, I like Cameron's comment. Standard Tragic the Gathering story. I had thousands of cards myself and couldn't build a decent deck. Yes.
I could build decent decks, but I would always get flustered and make play mistakes.
Yes, I vaguely remember playing one artifact deck at a tournament. Was that strong? We were kids, so we did dumb burn decks and white weenie. Yes, we all played a white weenie deck and one.
My friend and I put together a deck based on a magazine article for Lori that was white weenies and Sarah Angels. Yes, it was
the Angel deck, all white cards. Yeah.
So I played those. They weren't very successful.
So Warcraft Adventures is available on the internet. So I'm glad to know it was fun. It looked kind of primitive to me, but so So then they came up with Heroes of the Storm, which was the defense, and not the Defense of the Ancients, is it?
Someone played Heroes of the Storm to get Overwatch skins, Bloody Crossbow. That was that was the third one. Yeah, Overwatch.
Yes.
Was their combat game, and I don't know what's that similar to.
Unicorn deck to the best of her ability. I didn't have a unicorn deck. The Heroes of the Storm was what was it?
I tended to play red-green decks, and they weren't very viable.
What was the game that Heroes of the Storm was made
Heroes of the Storm is based in League of Legends.
League of Legends,
but
yes.
What was Overwatch?
Overwatch was pretty much original, I think. So, yeah. There's nothing quite like it out there. But then, just recently, Hearthstone came up with a variant game they called Mercenaries, and it's a totally different game, but it's using the same kind of basic card strategy.
Does no one speak of Thalons anymore? I didn't, even in the day.
Oh, well. So, at any rate...
So Lori wanted to show off the game that she's been playing lately. I thought I had it up still. No, I rebooted.
You rebooted, and so it isn't
up.
So
I would have to go.
You don't have that on your. Thing. You don't have that on your footnotes. You should have it on your.
It's on my desktop.
Well, yeah, but it should be on the bar where you can get.
So as we said, Lori.
I see you have things on your bar you never ever use. So it's like, what a waste.
Okay. So over here on our desktop,
you don't have to show off that because that says
a Blizzard launcher.
Good, it's advertising a game we don't own.
Warcraft Reforged, and one of those things in there. Why is that even in Warcraft 3? I don't even know why that was up. So Hearthstone is a game I played it for a while. My son played it a bit longer.
Yeah, he was playing up till last year, but then he had a kid, and he hasn't been online since.
And Lori never really got into it until a few months ago. Or a year ago?
No, it's been 6 months, I think.
Yeah, 6 months or so ago. They came up with a special mode in Hearthstone called Mercenaries.
Yes.
And Mercenaries is a card game.
Yep, it's on that screen.
It's on the wrong screen. We'll never see it.
We'll never see it, no. You'll have to figure out how to... The thing will come up eventually. So at any rate, we're playing this game called Mercenaries now, and it is a variant off of Hearthstone, but really it's a game pretty much its own self. So you need to shift that over into...
If I can.
Yeah. Well, you have to get rid of the crap first. Click that off. Yes, thank you. And that one off. And then
that one off.
You were supposed to bring this up before we actually played. Let's see. Options. Okay. Click that off. Now we can move it to the right screen. There we go.
And then make it full screen.
There we go.
Hey.
Yay, there's the game.
Okay, there's the game. Okay, so this is... I don't know how to get out of this stuff.
You just click off the
area. So one of these modes is Mercenaries.
There's Mercenaries.
And this is a game that is not like Magic the Gathering.
Except it uses the cards as the metaphor for your characters.
Yeah, so go ahead to the deck builder.
Yeah, you've got you've got this little environment for, this is really the user interface for the game. And you've got an area where you can set up your party.
So this is like your loose leaf notebook with all your cards in it.
Yes.
And
you pick, yes, we'll get it, Evelyn. And you have a concept of, there are 3 colors in this game. Basically the protectors.
Which she calls red and I call orange.
Yeah, the fighters and the caster class.
We agree that those are green and blue respectively.
Yes, we do. But this one's more red. It's supposed to be a red.
And the characters start out at level 1.
Yes.
And as you play them...
Oh, people, first-time chatters. Ben Kelly, welcome. And
welcome.
Olaf, welcome. Yay.
Invitation to the space rocket.
Yes.
For card-based characters, I still reference Card Hunter. Yes, Card Hunter was maybe that was
released on Flash. Oh well.
Yeah, Card Hunter was very popular among the game design workshop people, which
ran out. That's what the phone calls are all about. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, raid.
We've been raided.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Okay, help me figure out how to actually do a raid. Oh, it's Sarah Kelly. Hello. Well, Kratz, thank you very much. And Matt Jiggett's gift to take on number 2. Friends of Roberta Vaughn here. Yes, thank you for coming.
Welcome.
It is a raid. So, yeah.
So our theoretical topic is pun and games, and we've gotten onto the games part. Yeah, the game we're looking at is the Hearthstone Mercenaries mode.
Yes. And hello, waves. Yes. Let's wave at everybody. And welcome. We're glad to see you.
His continuous animation over Kurtrus Ashfallen means that he has some ability that I haven't claimed yet.
That you haven't gotten. You get to... So like an RPG, your characters go up levels, and they get more abilities as they go up.
So he has 152 mercenary coins, which I can use to improve one of his 3 abilities, which are Demon Slayer, Aimless Assault, or I-Beam. So let's try I-Beam, and it'll say that's 125 points to upgrade, and I have 152. So should we get this one?
I usually do it the other way. I go with the first one. Usually you can...
First one is attack an enemy if it's a demon.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's better. Let's try the middle one, though.
Middle one. Attack a random enemy. If it's the left or rightmost, gain immune this turn. That can be useful.
Yes.
Especially if they only have 2 enemies
up.
But
all it's going to do is... It doesn't actually change. I'm not sure what the improvement. I think you go a little sooner. I think.
Yes, it went from speed 8 to speed 7.
Yes, so that's the difference between it. So yeah, you're right. This is the better one. It actually does something.
Yeah, this one goes from 7 damage to 10 damage.
I haven't played Hearthstone in ages. I used to play all the Blizz games, but now I just do Diablo.
Yeah, this one is the cards are just like Hearthstone, but the gameplay is completely different from Hearthstone.
It's very different, and it really reminds me of an RPG.
So why don't you go show a zone or something?
All right, so well, you create a deck with a bunch of different characters.
Yeah, so I have several decks here. My balanced deck has 2 protectors, 2 fighters, and 2 mages.
Fully equipped. We're continuing. I'll let you do that on your own. So he's got a demon deck. He's got a murky deck. I'll bet you don't have enough murkies there. Oh, you do have quite a few. And you have Mr. Smite. So, yeah, that's a pretty good... But there are many more. There are 2 more mercs now.
Okay. So I don't have all the murkies, but...
No.
Murlocs.
And Hordes, and Questing, and Natural, and 30. Okay, those are your...
Natural is probably things to do nature spells.
Okay. So yeah, you set up the deck as you like.
30 was ones that are level 30 because Lori has leveled almost all of her characters to level 30, and I have not. So I have one powerful group for the toughest challenges.
Okay. So he has upgraded his workshop, which basically makes you set this thing up. Well, wait a second. You don't have the PvP area. You don't have a PvP area set up.
Have you ever played PvP?
No, but I do have it set up.
You probably had enough credit to do that.
And you have...
Training grounds. So my training is finished.
Yeah, you finished that, or you ran out of time. So characters go up levels.
Ooh, that was level... Wait.
13, 14, it's still going up. 15, 16. The level is in the middle. You've had him in here for a while, I can tell.
Well, I haven't played this game for weeks.
Yeah, All right.
That's going down.
It is. You got him up to level 22?
22.
Congratulations.
And we can take him out of there.
We'll take him out of there. Well, no, we can start him up. He can... Ooh, he's got a new ability because you started him low.
Fireball Storm.
And they're starting him over again. Do you care?
You said you play. I don't care.
Okay, so then we have it finished. It runs out of time. It only does it
This
for
is
24 hours. Rexar. The half-orc hunter. No, he isn't. He's a half-orc.
He's a half-orc?
Half-orc.
Oh,
he looks like Batman. I call him Batman because his outfit looks like Batman all the time.
And he has a bear as his pet?
Yeah, he has Misha the bear, and he also has a boar that he uses.
A bear and a boar.
So all of these characters...
that reminds me of the little poem that in my childhood is a flea and a fly and a flew. Said, oh dear, what shall we do? Said the fly, let us flee. Said the flea, let us fly. So they flew through a flaw in the flue.
Yes. Yeah, Yes, he's a jerkbag hunter. Yes, indeed. I was playing Beta when everybody hated him. Keep on Laughing had a wizard game. Was that in what? He didn't actually have a wizard game.
Well, okay.
He kind of had a wizard game.
No, it would have still probably been
It would have
Erasmus.
been... No.
Keep on?
No, in Keep on Laughing's game, it would have been Aziza.
Aziza. Really?
Keep on Laughing number 2?
Yeah, in Quest for Glory 2.
Yeah, 2. The
we
game
were going to have
would
a
have
game.
been, and it would have been...
Well, the name of the game was Wizard's Whirl. I remember that.
Yes, and it was supposed to be with Aziza.
And it was all about elementals and using elemental abilities to counter other
like water and things like that.
And the idea was you had a game board that had various elements, fire, water, and so on the board.
But it was in the Quest for Glory 2 fan game. Yes, it was.
Yes. So your actions would gradually change it over, and you would try to defeat your opponent's element with your element by taking over the entire board and turning it all to fire or all to earth or whatever. And so they did a variant on that in the Quest for Glory 2 VJ. We abandoned ours because we didn't have time to work on it, and it wasn't coming together. So we dropped it from Quest for Glory 2, but the crew that did Quest for Glory 2 VGA took my notes and then, basically finished the game.
Yep. So, yeah, we did have it in, but not actually.
Oh, yes, and they had SimCity, SIDDHI, or SimShe. I think that's correctly pronounced she.
Is it?
SimShe.
I don't know. Sounds amazing. After my wizard did the wit sidecraft, there wasn't any MU specific. Yes, really. You guys should look into joining forces with Triss Brothers on games on a joint project.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Trace Brothers.
A pair of indies working together. Yeah. Well, we're always interested in working with other people.
Except for that four-letter word in there. Work.
Yeah, except for the work part. So, at any rate, the game actually has this concept of quests, and you get a set of quests for characters.
She's back to Mercenaries.
Yes, we're back to Mercenaries. I'm back on the Mercenary screen, and you want to level your characters. These quests help level your characters and give them more experience. And then you also level your characters.
So you have to use this because I've
by playing.
So why don't you just go someplace and...
I got to go to a normal Barons, the beginning level.
Normal Barons, choose. And then you
haven't even finished normal Barons.
Of course I have, except for they added the new one.
Oh, they added, but yeah,
they added the Secret Cow level.
They added a Secret Cow level.
Okay, so...
We are not playing the Secret Cow level.
What? We're not? Is that too hard?
Do you have a good team?
I have a 30s team. I don't know if it's the right team for this.
I don't know that it is.
Choose 30.
I'm choosing the 30 team. We will see. Lich King, Cornelius. Do they have any? Synergy. The trick is making decks is all about having synergy.
Well, we'll find out.
All right, fine. I will lock it
that in.
We will play this. Baron's chat, best chat. Yes, the metaphor they have is that it's World of Warcraft board game, sort of thing.
Okay, so this says we're going to fight a Tauren monk, and because it has green icon, green border, it is a fighter, which means you want to use protectors against it, and that your
so the idea is protectors are good against the fighters, and the fighters are good against the mages, and the mages are good against the protectors. So
this is also known as rock.
Yes,
paper,
river,
scissors,
and this has a balanced team up there to begin with. We have a caster character, we have a fighter character that's a monk, and we have the protector character, which is a paladin.
So, why don't you pick one of my fighters to fight the...
Well, I will pick a Cornelius.
Okay, put him in the middle.
I will put him in the middle. We could put a Samuro up there to get our greens, because
yeah, okay, put a Samuro up against the left guy.
And I generally pick Cyrella because she'll heal if I need it.
Okay.
All right, we have our team.
Now, like in...
You see, you had a team of 6 cards, and you pick which ones you want to use of those 6 cards to use against what's up here, because this is random.
I'm trying to get a word in edgewise.
I know.
So as in Magic the Gathering, you have a sideboard. So your other 3 cards are now in your sideboard. If one of your characters dies, you will be able to bring in one of your sideboard characters.
Yes. Have we tried the Wrath of the Lich King panoramic board game? No, I do not see. Haven't even seen it. Yes. And real life Tilly the Rogue just came home and nearly knocked me over with a hug attack. So I need to go. Well, tell her hello. We will wave at her if she's visible.
Tell her that she'll get to play Tilly's Tale real soon now once we finish it.
Now, yes.
I think we're looking at July now.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this is now, once you set up your characters, you can rechange their positions to be where you want it to be. But each one has a different ability. And so you put them, and actually the speed thing is every spell has a different speed, but in order of spells, if this is the first one that will go, if they're all on the same
That's too much
speed.
information. Go kill things.
All right, ready. We will play. And then it has to set it up, and then it says go.
Okay, so we have 1 ability that's available and 2 that are waiting for
cooldown. And so this one is going to attack. I'm looking at the abilities of the opponents. This one just does a straight attack. This one chooses an enemy to attack and then sets its attack level to higher than them.
To 2 higher.
And then attacks them.
Ooh.
And then we have, this one just casts the spell, deal damage. Now, if you attack somebody, you take damage too. So, this character has an attack of 3. If he attacked Samuro, he would take 3 points off of Samuro's, and Samuro would do his attack 10 against him. So you're, that's the way it plays. So,
and with the rock, paper, scissors part, you do double damage against the one that's weak to you.
So I would go
attack him. Because if he hits, he'll do 20 points of damage instead of 10.
And then to go straight rock, paper, scissors.
This has never happened to us before.
Yeah, we're getting it, Evelyn. And so I will do the red against.
It's the same call over and over.
Really? Huh? And then her spell is different. She has a spell to do 9 to an enemy and give it -7 attack. It takes away their attack. This guy isn't going to actually attack, so it doesn't make any sense.
But it's good against the green guy.
It's good.
Do it against the green guy.
Green guy, because it has the higher attack.
Because the blue one's going to die instantly.
Okay, fine. All right, here we go. And here's the battle.
So they look at the speeds of the characters. So first you give her 9 damage. And lower its attack to 0. Except then it got it.
And that is the round.
Alright, so I was wrong.
Yeah. So then
you could use the abilities. Okay, he can gain taunt.
I
force
taunt.
Opponents to do it.
Then this guy would have to attack him if he was attacking. And he also, when he does taunt, he heals the characters beside him.
Yep.
And so yes. And then we will just run this one. Engage the taunt. Everybody's healed. That one goes into attack. And then she gets to do her thing, and it's dead!
Because that was blue against red, and therefore very
It's getting late for me, but it was worth seeing you guys. Have a great day. Well, thank you for showing up.
Anyway, so we have won that battle, and that was the first of a campaign. We all gained some experience. Click to continue.
And you gain a treasure. It gives you a special ability for this.
That is only good for this mission.
Yeah.
For this set of...
the thing is, they're mercenaries, and this is a bounty board, and you're on a bounty. So, for the purpose of this bounty...
I have alliance characters or not.
You have pretty much all of them are alliance characters.
Okay.
But yeah. you have more alliance characters and you have that.
And so here we get a choice of missions and so on. So that's
yes.
a game, unless you want to play that for a while.
No, I was going to say this is a tough one, and you actually have to think about the battles. And so every board is different. It's randomly generated when you start the game. It has things like
within limits,
elite caster, elite things, and the color of it tells you what kind of character you're mostly going up against.
And Lori warned me never to do an elite battle if you could avoid it.
Yeah, if you want to actually win to the final boss, then you want to avoid the elite battles unless you're horribly overclassed for this.
Once that staff in real life.
Do the healers heal? Do the heroes heal after each round? Yes, you're back to...
Yeah, everybody is up to full health after that battle. Except anyone who died is still dead.
Yes, anybody who's died.
And every once in a while
you're dead until the end of the bounty.
Yeah. Every once in a while they have an angel in there that can bring you back, one character back to life.
Since this is a random layout, sometimes you have a healer in there that you can land on. You have a chaos mystery that could be any of several things, and you have buffers. This boon buffs all fighters, both your characters and any other opponent on the thing. So
it's a fighter class. And now if we look at our final battle, it doesn't say. Normally it tells you what the final battle is. So if the final battle is a fighter,
no, if you click on it,
it turns out he's a protector.
He's a protector.
So that might be okay unless he has fighters working for him.
You can't get there
until you do all those other battles.
Until you do all the other battles up the list, up the trail, and you choose which trail you want to go up. So you're actually making decisions all along the way. Which is the better trail? Which one do you want to go to? If you go up the right side, you're going to have that buff for all fighters, and you're going to have a mystery which could screw you over, or it could be good.
Or it could help, yeah.
Or you could do the left path, which has a straight left path, is just a straightforward path. Or you could do an elite path on that. You could switch over to this one.
And the elite ones give you better rewards, but they're very difficult and you're likely to lose the character.
Yeah. So
all right, so we have in Soviet Russia, Alexa calls you. Yes. I think that's what happened today. Yes. We have never gotten this many calls in a row, but maybe because I keep hanging up on them and keep calling. Because Amazon really is trying to get hold of us.
Yeah. Yeah, clear.
Keep on. This was all about angles.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay.
And then we have at least there's video if we need proof of this harassment.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We'll get you all to call them. A guy from Andromeda says, getting late for me, but it was great seeing you. Have a good day. Okay. Probably already missed him. That was probably either Mark or Scott or who's
I'm gonna
helper guy.
Let's see. No, that's.
You just leave that alone. Just swap off it.
No, I was going to. Oh,
you can't save.
I can retire though.
Retire our party.
I'm retiring our party, and as a result of our retirement, we got
a little consolation reward.
Coins for each character, which helps them go up.
For random characters.
It helps them get their abilities through that. Yeah. I'm planning on circling around to the secondary quest style games, specifically Quest for Infamy and Heroine's Quest.
Herald of Ragnarok.
Yes.
Quest for Glory 2 fan remake is a maybe if it's really the same game, but they've added stuff. Yes,
yeah,
the
they
combat
added
is harder.
A few of the Easter eggs
they added
back
the Pizza Elemental. They added the Stars Repair Shop, and they added the Wizard or the Sim City game, SimCity.
Yes, all great games. Yes. This sort of map layout is what we got from games like FTL and the subsequent Slay the Spire. I like having, strategy in my strategy games. Exactly. There really is thinking here. You really plan out your route. You plan out what abilities your characters have.
FTL Faster Than Light always throws me off because FTL Games was the name of the company that made Dungeon Master and Sundog: A Frozen Legacy, which were two really great games of the 80s.
Yeah, so if we go to a character, for instance, you just got a new ability on this character.
So you said I was going to get new characters, but I didn't see any new characters.
Well, to get your new character, there are a lot of new characters available. But to get this new character, you have to go into the store. And there are the coins that you can buy.
For $40 we can buy it. Ooh.
There is a free card. Tyrael.
That was hidden.
There is their launch of Diablo Immortal. Gives you a free legendary mercenary.
I'll take it.
You can buy it.
It's a bargain and twice the price.
Yeah, you have a free new character. Purchase complete. Okay, you now own him.
Yeah, that's my budget.
That's
what about
budget.
the things below? Do they cost
No, there's
money?
nothing. Everything costs money other than that. Well, except for this. If you had any coin, if you had any gold, you could buy that.
I wouldn't spend it on that anyway.
Yeah,
Because I discovered you actually need gold for other things.
Yeah, not once you've maxed out everything.
I don't know
Once
if
you've
I maxed out everything.
you've maxed out everything. All right, so I'm bringing up Tyrael. You can read. Well, go ahead. Read the thing. Oh, you can't. Yeah, I can. I like the Skrill tree approach.
Sort of map approach.
I'm halfway through Infamy and it's crashing.
Ooh.
Weird. Yes, most people, we didn't have any of that.
I never saw a crash, but we didn't get halfway through though. We got into the city and got a special.
I'm playing it just off Steam. We do not speak of that other fan game. I tried it, hated it. Okay, yes. We
were told that. In fact, there was a very funny article on John Walker, I think it was. Wrote the article about how horrible it was.
I love Vermintide so much and can't wait for Darktide. Okay, let's see. So much fun, so much pain. Yeah, Mage's Initiation. I love that one too. Okay. Crashing at the city.
I liked Mage's Initiation. Okay. I did that in a stream, and I didn't finish it. I got as far as the torture room and couldn't quite figure out how to escape.
Yeah, we ran out of time, and he couldn't pick it up. Yes, the game we would have probably played.
I would have finished that game, but I was actually had some of the viewers on stream said, "Please don't do that. I want to play that game." It was Infamy. They wanted it.
Oh,
was this one?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll get it. Thank you, Evelyn.
Let's start some interesting phone numbers. Hello.
Yep. We got it, Evelyn.
So we often get those spam calls. We never get that many in the row. I've asked on Quora about whether it is technically possible for service providers to provide a code that you could punch in when a call is in there that would cause them to automatically trace the call and take appropriate action, such as reporting it to FTC or whatever.
To go back to Mercenaries.
But I haven't gotten a good answer. No. Back to Mercenaries.
Your characters have the upgrades for their thing. You have a certain amount of the points to upgrade them. You can choose whether or not you want to upgrade them right away. But also, they have a concept called Holy Combo. A combo, which means it interacts with what some other character in your deck plays.
Is that how that works? I never understood that.
Yes. So if you have this with other characters that do holy spells...
So if somebody else did a holy spell this turn
first, then they do this extra holy combo thing.
And when I tried to do that, I always found that my holy combos were so fast that they always happened too early.
Yes, there's so many characters that are just like that. So remember, always put them in the position so that they are the last one to act if they're, So there's all sorts of strategy for it.
I always suspect that's bad game design.
No, I think it's thought.
Bad game balance.
It makes you. Then you have to play a card that makes your character slower.
Yeah.
So there's interactions that you can get around things. So yeah.
There's an option beta for a Quest for Infamy. Really? So they're working on a patch to it?
Cool.
I guess that's implied.
Yeah. I'll look up Mage's Initiation. Yes, you should.
Yeah, Mage's Initiation is the same group that did the Quest for Glory 2 VGA.
Well, no.
Sort of.
It's what's left of the same group.
It is
There's
what
more, and
all right. Okay, so in the same sense,
yes.
Tilly's Tale, Summer Days Tilly's Tale was made by the same group that made Hero You Road to Redemption, except we had 30 people that worked on Hero You Road to Redemption, and we had about 8 people that worked on Summer Days, of which we're currently down to 3.
But there were also new people that have come in and things like that.
Yeah.
But Mage's Initiation, the artwork is by our own,
J.P.
Selwood did a lot of that.
Who did Hero You Art.
Did a lot.
And Summer Days.
Yes. Tilly's Tale. So, it's an interesting game. It's really in the whole... They really wanted to make a Quest for Glory game, yeah. I liked it, even if it felt a bit short and railroady. Yeah, well, that's a
which one's that? Is that Mage's Initiation?
I don't know. You will not find that from Infamy. Quest for Infamy. It does not feel. It feels really like a good.
Feels really open-ended. Yeah, it really feels like an RPG.
Yeah, even if it isn't. And then, of course, the Heroine's quest actually feels much more like a RPG than the other two, rather than an adventure game, because it had other concepts brought into it, like the cold being affect you and that, even if it killed you. But they did have skill levels, so you didn't have to get killed by it. So those are all good games.
And protective things.
So yeah, this is what what I am playing. Why I like it. It has real strong strategy. You have to think about what you're doing with every round you play. You can play the thing again and again, and it's always different because you can use different characters to play with, and their skills, mesh well or don't mesh, and you have to figure these things out.
And if you like Blizzard games, then it's convenient that they do a lot of crossover on them. If you don't like Blizzard, then...
If you like Blizzard games, yes, because all of the characters...
Well, I'm just going to say specifically, Tyrael was in the game Diablo.
Yes.
He's
Tyrael is... Gromish Hellscream
is a major character in Warcraft universe.
Warcraft, and Gruul is in World of Warcraft, and so these
but then they went
had
to Heroes of the Storm, also have several of these characters.
Yeah, Vanessa Van Cleef, the Dead Mines, and the Lich King. So they've brought these characters in. Mr. Smite was also from the Dead Mines.
Mr. Smite is in the Dead Mines.
Yes. And Manaroth is a demon that was
in Ashara.
Yeah.
Or not Ashara.
It predated. It was in Warcraft. So yeah, they have history. These characters, many of these names you will know. So if you did this, Quest for Glory 1 team had Order of the Thorn.
Order of the Thorn.
Huh.
Quest for Infamy.
Oh, Quest for Infamy.
Quest for Infamy team had Order of the Thorn, which is nice, but also a bit short. More of a King's Quest style game.
Okay.
They had it on Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
Mage's Initiation Stephen Alexander just has had terrible health problems. Okay, which is hard for him to do it.
Yeah, it is hard to make a game, period. It doesn't help if you have complications by having, health problems.
Well, you should only add in Summerdays Tilly's Tale to your wish list. And eventually we'll release it. It's been in beta for a long time, but we haven't been able to put enough time into testing it, and because I decided to do full voice acting, we had to get the pickups on the voice and so on.
Yes. So
is Tilly related to the healer from Spielberg? And the answer is
yes. She is the adopted daughter.
Adopted daughter.
So.
Amelia Appleberry is the healer.
Amelia didn't actually ever get married, but she had a healthy family, and she
adopted daughter Tilly Appleberry.
Yes. And so Tilly grows up in Spielberg after you have left as a character. And so this is the aftermath.
After you fix the area somewhat.
So yes, she grew up in the idyllic valley of Spielberg.
Still wild sources and such, but...
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not exactly perfect, because you didn't make it perfect. But yes, let's go to the webcam, because we're going to get out of the game.
You go to the webcam, you'll see me yawning.
No, what perfect timing. No, gee, now we have another call. What do you know?
This is crazy. This has never happened to us before.
She didn't bring Terry
with
her.
There's about 2 a day, usually. We've had, 8 during the stream?
Amelia, you look healthy for adventure. You must be new. Appleberry, yes. That Amelia Appleberry. Yes.
Terry has a, is it a brother named Tabby, or is it just the same species?
No.
Tabby?
No, Tabby is her best friend is Fritz, and Fritz is...
Tilly's best friend is Fritz.
Tilly's best friend... Yes, I know. Tilly's best friend is Fritz, and when Fritz goes to make a familiar...
And Fritz is also from Spielberg.
Fritz is from... He's a centaur.
He's a centaur related to the centaur farmer.
Yes, he is the son of Hilde. He is the son of Hilde, and when he makes his familiar, makes Tabby as his familiar. His father is I can't remember.
That'd be a spoiler. Never mind.
No, it isn't. But Ferdson is the last name, which is why he has his name.
Which is
Fritz Ferdson is his last name. Yeah.
Fritz is his first name.
Fritz Ferdson is his, yes.
Ferdson is his last name.
Yes, yeah. So there is a pterodactyl thingy there.
Are you proposing heroes actually do good? So much for the script for Peer Gynt.
Well, all right. Yes, he did. Hero did good in Valley, but that didn't end all the problems. I mean, after all, it meant that the Baron of Spielberg was going to be Barnard, and you know how good Barnard was at being diplomatic. So therefore, yeah, just because you did good didn't solve all problems.
They really should have had Toro become the Baron.
Okay. Because
then they would have had a Baron of Beef.
I see. Okay.
This is pun and games.
Yes, it is.
Everything you say has to be a pun.
Okay. So yes, Barnard becomes Baron, and things start to go. Politically things go, south because of that, and
all the way south to Samaria.
Well, eventually, because that's why Elsa, became a mercenary effectively after that, because she couldn't stand living with her brother. And so we know how Elsa's life wound up being, and she became the hero of Spellberg because she actually did something to protect the valley.
It sounds like fan fiction.
I know, but it is in a sense, yes. We get to write our own fan fiction, yeah. So that's why she winds up...
for an adventurer. You must be new.
That's why she winds up in Samaria. That's our rationale, that she was actually helped save the valley when her brother didn't.
Anyway, so Tabby is a familiar, Fritz's familiar.
Yes.
And Tabby is of the same species as Terry.
And because that's the one that Fritz associated with something he loved. He loved being around Tilly and Amelia,
yep.
And the whole, they read books
sense.
And things like that. Yeah, in a Platonic, they were his family away from family, because his real family were all about farming. He wasn't exactly into being a farmer. I love how Wolfgang, Stefan, and the sheriff were just sitting around waiting for Ego to show up and solve every single problem the valley had.
Well, in fact, they tried. They tried to fix it themselves. And if you go through the Adventurers Hall, that's why there's all those heads of conquest on the wall.
Plus, they're old now.
Yeah, they got old. They got old. They tried to solve it. They failed. Or they succeeded to some extent, which is why it's not total disaster there.
Yeah, that they did not, they were all getting older. Stefan had given up. And when your leader gives up, it's hard to do things. I mean...
Which is much like the problem with, getting Hero U done.
I believe the Swordmaster. Well, he didn't help things, I'll tell you. Having an obnoxious Swordmaster as your right-hand man, it's, you always blame the Vizier. Yeah, that's it. And clearly he was the...
Oh, come on, the butler did it.
Oh, yeah, well, that's a Vizier. What is a butler? He's,
Not much. Butler is not an advisor.
Well, he can be. When they're... the more recent butlers were the ones that told them, the ones that actually did everything in the house, yeah. So, anyway...
So that's what's going on in our lives, and we don't actually play adventure games very much. Although Lori was enthralled when I introduced her to my CPM machine and had original Colossal Cave Adventure on it.
I wasn't enthralled. I played it for a few hours, was terribly frustrated because I hate adventure games, I found out. And then I almost crashed his computer and destroyed his computer because I couldn't figure out how to take out the floppy disk. So therefore, yes, that was my first experience on a computer.
Well, one of the customer support stories I heard at Sierra was someone saying that the game said insert disk 2, and I did that and nothing happened. And then it said insert disk 3, and I don't have any more room in the drive. I've got 2 disks in there already.
Yeah. Let's put it this way: I am not Roberta Williams. I did not fall in love with adventure, and that was.
She did, however, fall in love with WordStar.
I did.
We had the discussion of WordStar.
Yes, we did. Yes, I did, because the idea of being able to correct what you were spelling and things
that
like that.
Nobody would ever know you got it wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Quest for Glory is almost countercultural. It's a classic case of the older generation dipping out on responsibility for society and passing the torch to the next generation to take over and start managing society.
Is that what that game was about?
Yeah. It has that in it. Commence the Monkey Island stump joke.
I mean, that's the old, coming of age. Yes. That's a coming of age story,
yes.
And that's been one of the oldest storylines throughout history. Is the idea of the young, inexperienced person, often an orphan or somebody with no expectations, comes in and becomes a great hero.
The chosen one, which we tried to get away with as we went along.
Away from?
Yeah, away from. Because, anybody can be chosen. That's kind of the thing with the Road to Redemption. The one principle was that if you didn't save the day, then somebody else would. So the concept that you aren't the only hero here in a school for heroes. So that it gave you incentive to actually get off your butt and actually do something heroic for a change. Because, the idea is that somebody else might win the game and not you. That it was just
and for some players maybe that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean it was the concept that this is a real world, and that the other characters in the game are actually part of the game, which is what we did not do with the Quest for Glory series because we couldn't effectively. But yeah,
Asian Waste has always liked this idea of heroes and adventurers being a professional sorts rather than some hobby or fleeting interest.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
a job.
It's a job. It's a duty. And what do you do? Yeah.
Although, you can have the gentleman detective and so on. I mean, Sherlock Holmes really felt like his was a hobby more than a career.
Well, no, it was his whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever he wasn't doing it, he was, getting high on drugs and things like that. So therefore, that was all he could do.
Heck Norris says, I found it interesting how in the games there was always a far better fighter, magic user, or thief in the area, but it was the hero that saved the day because he was willing to take a chance and step out and get it done. And that's kind of our philosophy of life.
Yeah.
Okay, when I've gotten this thing thrown at me over and over again of, you're a genius, and that's the thing you never want to hear if you're above average intelligence because you can't live up to it.
There's always somebody better than you.
Yeah, I mean, in 6th grade, I was really smart, but I had at least 2 or 3 kids in the class who were smarter than me, faster at solving problems.
Yep.
So I was never the best. What about you?
Same way. I was in the. It turns out, I didn't realize, I was in the smart class, and so therefore, I was mediocre in a smart class. So yeah, I never thought of myself as being particularly.
Most of the great entrepreneurs and such, and people who accomplish things in history are not the top of the class people. Like Bill Gates dropped out of college.
Yeah.
And they're very frequently your CEOs or B and C students.
That's what they said.
Under the right circumstances.
Never look down on your B students because there's the ones that are going to start the
business,
your boss. And they're the ones that are going to pay for your sports teams and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Erasmus had better things to do. Erasmus was never interested particularly in saving Spielberg Valley. Because he would even play cards with Baba Yaga. So it wasn't like he was on bad terms with her. He was just there. And, he becomes your mentor because you came up there because he didn't go to you. Although there's a slight indication in the stories, the book about it, that Erasmus actually helped get you to the valley.
Actually, the second part of Heck Norris, I was saying this is our life philosophy. It's the second part. It was the hero that saved the day because he was willing to take a chance and step out and get it done.
Right. It isn't
so
the hero's better than anybody.
Yeah.
It's that he's willing to do the job.
Yeah, so that's how we got to Sierra. Is I was doing a project of my own. I was doing this desktop publishing system, and a friend of ours came up and said, "Hey, Sierra's looking for experienced tournament level dungeon master to make a role playing game for them." And
yep.
After we all laughed at the ridiculousness of that thing, I said, "Well, okay, we might be able to do that." And we took the chance. We left our house behind in San Jose, which turns out we would have become a millionaire just by staying there and
Yep.
That's how I get it for
often
years.
the B students are there because they're bored. They're not trying their best because they're bored or just don't feel inspired.
Or maybe it's just that the A students are so get used to winning all the time that they don't take that extra effort to take the chances to go beyond.
Mm-hmm. Once they have the opportunity to pursue things they're really interested in, yes, it's when they start to excel. Right, grades are kind of meaningless. They've always been kind of meaningless. And the fact that a person's good in school usually implies not that they're intelligent, but that they are interested in what's going on in the school, or they're desperately crave the attention of their parents, and so therefore they're doing their best.
So possibly the most important thing I did in college is that a friend of mine, I had friends back then, said, "Oh, you got to check out this thing they've got," and he got me into a tiny room in the engineering department building that had a computer called the MLAC, and it was programmed by toggling switches in the front panel, and he basically said, they've got this cool Space Wars game on it, and it was similar to Asteroids before that, and and then one day they started bringing in this hacked up monitor in a box that had a whole bunch of jury-rigged wire wrap things in the back, and that was a terminal for the Plato system at the University of Illinois. No. And their big experiment was that Plato was designed for direct connection to their mainframe. This was designed to use the ARPANET, which is the predecessor to the Internet, to connect into University of Illinois mainframe and then get to Plato from there. And so that's where I basically started playing games on Plato and discovered, the game that led to Wizardry and so on. And that kind of became my life, was making games. But if I had simply stuck to my courses, I would have gotten better grades and possibly learned more. But instead, I learned about interactive gaming.
Yeah, really. You can scroll down. We've covered part of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm using timing on the discussion of bad students. Right now I'm going through a box of things we received from our students when we spent a year teaching high school in China. I just saw the chopsticks given to me by a student who acted like a spoiled brat, hated to do any work in class, and was impolite to others. Where is he now? At college in Europe and in a happy relationship.
Yay!
You just never can tell, yes.
That gets into another thing that we really like, which is there's a book called Mindset by Carol S. Dweck. I think it's S. Carol Dweck. And that's about the idea that you can either have a fixed mindset where you think that basically everything is predestined and, I'm smart or I'm stupid. Either one is bad, because the real thing is that I can strive to do intelligent things. And that doing that work and saying I can change, I can improve myself, I can work on things, I can make a difference. That is the, what do they call it? Not fixed, but
can't remember.
Fluid mindset? No, that's not it. But something like that.
Yeah.
So the idea of having an ever-changing
yes.
View on yourself and on the world. And that's people that really accomplish stuff, is ones that don't just stay stuck in the role that they started in.
Did you ever read Stephen Levy's book, Hackers? Did you work
Absolutely.
directly with the Atari ST Wunderkind that Ken had found and later fired?
I don't know which one that is, but so the book Hackers, I was told to read that after I'd interviewed before I went to work there, and it has about a third of the book is devoted to Ken Roberta Williams of Sierra. Well, I almost said Atari, and that's because Roberta cooperated heavily in the writing of it. But not everything it tells is flattering. It's about how Ken basically cheated and lied to people.
Lied and cheated. It's quite an interesting view of his philosophy, and you could see where he had the same. If he would lie and cheat, then he believed everybody that worked for him would do the same thing. So that was his word for you.
But it's a certain kind of lying. Okay, so what he did is he wrangled a job as a computer operator and later as a programmer without having the requisite education or skills. But what he did was read the manuals and taught himself how to do it. So supposedly he was actually quite good at that job, but he never would have gotten hired if he had told the truth.
Yes, yeah.
And that was where he developed his basic programming skills and so on, so that when one of the clients that he was doing contract work for had him doing an Apple II project, he took an Apple II home, and that was where Roberta first started seeing games like Colossal Cave Adventure.
Yeah. Struggle is important, as having some idea of realistic limits and finding others with different cooperative advantages.
Comparative advantage, yes.
Okay, fine. That really shines through your games. The philosophy of constant self-improvement, self-discipline, and trying to do your best as much as possible.
Yeah, that's the basic theme is, practice makes perfect. That if you practice things, you get better at them.
Yeah.
Except if you don't know anything about the thing in the first place, then you have to get someone to teach you.
You have to learn what you're doing and learn how to learn. So practicing the same thing 1,000 times does not make you better at it.
Except it does in our games.
Well, yeah. But
if you start out with a little bit of skill...
Yeah. I do believe struggle builds character. If anything, it gives one a sense of humility and empathy, and hopefully gives you those things.
And yet the people that start with the advantages in the first place tend to keep having them. I got my first internship job during college because...
faked it until he made it. It sounds like every other Sierra protagonist, yes.
Yes. Fake it until you make it. There was a lot of Sierra developers, too. Calvin, do something you hate. Being miserable builds character.
Yeah, really. Struggle isn't always the same as misery. Yes. And, the things we do that we work the hardest at aren't necessarily fun. I work very hard doing ceramic art. Is it fun? Not really. It's a lot of work. But it's rewarding in a different way than, other things are.
I said Neil Gaiman got his first writing job for a newspaper by lying about his non-existent previous experience in the field.
Yes.
He later on actually did the things he lied about, so...
But it's a good story, yes.
Love
the Mindset book. The thing we asked our 6-year-old daughter a lot is this hard, or does it just take practice?
Well, I did some writing and editing for my school paper in high school, and then, and had talked with a guy that worked for the local paper, and he gave me a little, basically not much more than a strip of paper to put in your car window that says, press, and have the name of the paper. And for some reason, I took that with me when I went to Germany as a 15-year-old. And I wanted to get in to see an exhibition at the exhibition hall. So first thing I did is I went to the press office and showed them my thing that said press and said that I write for a local newspaper in Pennsylvania, and they were very happy to give me press credentials. And I actually wrote an article about my experiences in Germany and sent it to them, which got printed in the school paper, but not that one. And then I saw Feliciano was in concert, so I took my press credentials from the conference hall into them and got a press pass for the Feliciano concert, which was mind-blowingly amazing, and got to sit in, the press booth. So yes, I did my share of manipulating who I am.
Yes.
Nothing completely wrong, just stretching a little.
Matt says about his daughter, she taught her, is this hard or does it just take practice? Almost always now, she says, it just takes practice. She just beat Plants vs. Zombies last week with that mindset after practicing for 6 months. Yeah. And yeah, it takes, those kind of games are kind of interesting. The whole Mario Brother kind of game, which was repetition until you actually mastered what it was trying to do.
So we played the real Ghostbusters on the Sega Genesis, and that was a very fun game, but it had no save points. So you basically played until you died, and then you got resurrected a few times by eating gyozas and picking duck.
Really.
And eventually you ran out of restarts, and had to start the game over from the beginning.
It was a hard game. It really was. Naming Collision says the struggle isn't always the thing. It was a joke in the original cartoon anyway. Well, Calvin's jokes were not always funny. They often were really hard-hitting,
Yeah.
For a 15-year-old, that sounds like a massively successful adventure. Yes. 6-year-old.
Well, that's what World of Warcraft's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, that if you're in a raiding guild, then you start out trying to do the normal level raid. Everybody disdains the looking for raid, but you start in the normal level raid and try to get through all the bosses in that, and then you come back in heroic mode where everything's much harder. My guild is currently, which I did not even qualify for the raid. I did my 2-week trial, but I was undergeared at the time and was not good enough. But they have been working for the last 3 or 4 weeks on defeating the heroic level on the jailer, who's the final boss in the current raid. And to see them playing, 30 times per session and wiping over and over again and trying to make slight little improvements.
Well,
and
not
learning
my
to fight.
idea of a game. Yeah.
But it is, once you've done them a few times, eventually you start getting the rhythm of it, and it becomes like a dance.
Yeah.
And you get better at it.
Let's see. Roadwork says self-promotion is toxic but necessary with the incentives that exist. Well, not only that, job requirements that are unrealistic. There are a lot of HR people that don't actually understand what jobs they're actually hiring for.
Yeah, when you're interviewing for a job, you're supposed to play yourself up, and a lot of us feel embarrassed about doing that. And
but the ones that get the job are the ones that say, "Yeah, I have that experience." It doesn't matter whether they did.
I had a guy that was promoted over me at the one job working in the poker site, and he had like 2 years of experience, but he wore a suit and tie into work and presented himself in a way that he was a manager, he was a boss. And he then got a very good job at Disney after that.
Playing games without saving. As a child, I learned something by playing Super Mario Brothers 3 level to level without skipping and saving. If you start after breakfast, you'll finish after dinner. Yes, that's well, we had a marathon where the woman was playing the game for, I think, 48 hours of Ghosts and Goblins or whatever it was
really?
at our house. Yes, we had a game machine. We had a game weekend at our house, and she came here. I didn't even know her name. I didn't know her because she was invited by a friend in Oakhurst, and she sat there and played, and we all watched with fascination as she kept playing and playing. And you couldn't save the game, you couldn't put it down, so she just kept playing. Yeah.
I saw that they had an arcade machine at Dundercon.
Resources, that's a nice icon for that, yeah. Yes.
My personal hygiene's a little bit questionable. It's not entirely awful, but it's a little bit questionable.
Ghosts and Goblins curls into a fetal position, yes. That NES game traumatized me.
But we had it on the Sega, though, so
it was okay. Sega was much better, obviously. Yeah, the Sega that we won because of the
Burger King screwing up our orders all the time during Quest for Glory 2.
Yes, we won it because they couldn't get it.
They finally, because they'd screwed up orders so time, they gave us like 60 other game cards or 100 or something.
We were making the game, so we kept having to. Everybody was on overtime, so we kept having to have lunch and
McDonald's refused to give us itemized receipts, and Burger King would. So
that was it. Yeah.
So we went to Burger King. Yeah. John Harris. I don't know that John Harris ever got fired from Sierra, did he?
No.
I think he quit.
I think he quit, yes. And, of course, he did. He was hired back. He did the combat system.
Yeah, he did the combat system for Quest for Glory 5.
But that was a very different Sierra at that time, so even if he had bad blood with Ken, nobody knew.
And I worked with John Harris on Barbie's Fashion Pack. John wrote the extensions to the Game Boy assembly language that made it into a macro assembler so that we could write something that was almost like C code in assembly language.
And of course, John Harris is also a very he's a fan of Catan. He plays Catan, and his wife was a rodeo designer.
Petanque, the ball game that you play in the field.
Yeah.
Similar to bocce.
Bocce kind of ball, yeah.
He's very good at it.
Love that BK story. Oh, wow, I no idea he came back and worked on a Quest for Glory game. Yeah,
he designed the AI combat for Quest for Glory 5.
Yes.
And had a big argument with Lori about what the user interface should be and whether, they should have the WASD keys and stuff like that.
Solely the key thing, and I couldn't even play it.
Lori wanted it all mouse-driven.
Well, we couldn't at the time. We didn't have the interface until the lead programmer / genius, there is this old story about the Buddha. If you see the Buddha on the road, kill him. And if you have somebody that's absolutely
irreplaceable
on
fire
a job,
them immediately.
Fire them immediately. Eric was the person you should have fired immediately for Quest for Glory 5 because he invented everything.
Not because he was bad, because he was good.
He was great. He was a genius, a certifiable genius in terms of programming. He could create anything. And in the last month of doing the Quest for Glory 5, we've been working on it for 3 years. In the last month, he managed to figure out how to do the mouse click, walking with a mouse click in the game, which meant we could now suddenly do real, an interface that was totally different.
Much earlier in Quest for Glory 4.
I know, but we didn't have it because we were in 3 space.
Yeah, and he redesigned everything in C++. And
so therefore we had a thing. But the why do you kill them? It's because if they're so unreplaceable, they will screw your project.
Well, it's effectively the longer they work for you, the more stuff will depend on them.
Yes, and so they can only do so much at the same time.
Now, if they never leave, they're fine, but they always do leave.
Yeah, well, he didn't leave, but he had no time to do everything that we absolutely wanted, and so therefore, I think he was the one that was. He invented the what happens, the special effect that happens when you did the nuclear annihilation spell, whatever, thermonuclear blast. He had that thing, the whole screen had pixels going everywhere, and the whole screen went white and then black.
Well, unfortunately, it crashed when he did it on the Macintosh.
Yes, that was ironic because he was a Mac person.
Yes, he was our Mac specialist.
Yes, it was ironic.
He killed the feature for the entire game.
Yes, so we had to pull it out at the last weekend, that Thanksgiving weekend before it shipped. Yep. It was the Saturday, I think it was. They said, "Oh my God, this is a crashing bug. We can't do this." So we just had to.
The ending of any of these games is absolutely insane. In the case of Quest for Glory 5, they had us on mandatory 50-hour a week, and then they went to 60, and they went to 72. And it still wasn't getting done on schedule, so they went to 80 hours a week, mandatory overtime. I went to my boss and said, this isn't for me, I'll work that, but the team is, they're burned out. They can't do this. And you're not getting a good game out of this. And they said, no, we got to get this game on schedule. And what they possibly knew that I didn't know was that Hatchet Man was coming to Sierra. That Sierra had hired a guy who was known for basically destroying companies and breaking them up so they could be sold, pieces sold highest bidder, and that Sierra was about to be sold and closed down Yosemite Entertainment and closed down the Dynamics offices and closed down the offices up in Bellevue. So they really were working against the clock, trying to get the game out.
Joshua, the unreliable, says, honestly, the freedom to save whenever it is more for the sake of the working man with kids than it is for people who have 4+ hours to show. It isn't just that. The whole the Japanese philosophy of how to play games, the Korean philosophies of how to play games, you have only like 3 hours a day that you are allowed to play games. And therefore, you had to make a game that was satisfying for 3 hours and you could walk away from it. And that's what changed the whole philosophy of how to design games.
Yeah, we were told that Japanese gamers, and Matt, I'll get to your question in a second, that Japanese gamers were massive hours and then had long commutes, and so they only had an hour to play in the evening. And so games there are all designed to be satisfying in 1 hour chunks.
Okay.
Oh, look! It's another call from Amazon.
My dark secret is
Leslie
the
Hard.
Quest for Glory 5. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no, John Harris did not help me. He was not at Sierra when I started.
No, yeah, he had left before that.
Yeah. He still lived in the area.
Yes.
And his wife was an equestrian, and they had their own horses and stuff.
Cameron says he's never even touched his copy of Quest for Glory 5. He will be in the blind for the first playthrough in a few weeks. It's a very, very different game.
At least in my version of it, there was an option at the beginning of the game to go go straight into action or something like that, do not choose that.
No, take
that was a debugging option that got left in.
Yeah.
Unless I have a debugging version, it's possible.
Oh, this after the Walter Forbes CUC merger. Sorry for speaking his name, yes. Oh, yeah.
We talked to Ken about that, and he said basically that he really thought that that Sierra no longer had the scale to be able to keep growing, and that they needed funding in order to do ambitious new games and so on, that by merging with COC, they would finally have the funding to do that. And he really thought that he was ensuring the future of the company by doing that merger. Yep. And as it turned out, it ended up destroying the company instead.
Yes. When it comes to saving, I'm grateful to mobile games for allowing me to stop in an instant. I'm grateful to roguelike games for forcing me to stop in an instant because I died. Yes. Yeah, Cameron says it'll be nice to see Elsa, Katrina, and Bruno again. It has closure for a lot of characters.
I did cheat at Rogue when I was working for Olivetti. And
you cheated with me with Rogue. I was so furious. He said he was working nights. He was staying late at the office.
Oh, well, come on. That's personal business. But yes, I was working very hard late at night at the office playing Rogue. And what I did is whenever I quit the game, it saves it. I made a copy of the save file so that if I had bad luck, that I could get back to it. So my more promising characters, because that game is basically designed to have you die over and over and over again.
Yes.
And, no recovery from death.
I do appreciate modern game design where the game automatically saves for you. But it is a different game, because you can't play the game as a game so much. Like the old theory of saving the game at this point and then going back and fixing the problem you just made, Yeah. You can't undo what you've done.
Oh, in World of Warcraft, no, you can't. Yeah. Quest for Glory 2, the VGA version, the first time I played it, I'd been playing about an hour, and I was really enthralled with what they did with the artwork and such, and said, they did an amazing job in this game, and got into a battle out in the desert and got killed, and said, I'll just restore my save game?
Yeah.
Because I had been too immersed to save.
Oh, all I knew about Rogue at the time was that there was an advertisement for it on the back of my copy of Temple of Apshai. It looked interesting and then became history. Yes, we all played Rogue far too much, even though it was frustrating as hell. It was also very addictive.
Yeah, Temple of Apshai was one of the first role-playing adventure games, and at that point it was designed for computers that generally, at best, had a floppy drive. Some of them had cassette tapes, and very little memory in them. So it didn't even have enough memory for the text to describe a room. So they basically gave you a paragraph number, said,
read this in the book.
115, yeah. And then you turned to paragraph 115 in the book, and it described the room you were in.
Yes.
I tried I wanted to go to work for that company.
Yes. Hopefully, once the Activision merger closes, there'll be more of that IP will be more available. I thought the King's Quest game from 6 years ago was quite successful in its transition to modern 3D sensibilities. We'll see what happens. It's all up to,
the team.
It's up to
Sydney Hamilton, who is our lead programmer, or one of our programmers is now their lead programmer. So
not Activision.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about.
No,
I thought you were talking about.
I'm not talking about.
Okay,
Ken
sorry.
And
Close.
game.
Yeah, Ken and Roberta's game,
Yeah.
Colossal Cave Adventure
Yes.
3D.
It was NetHack for me, and I copied the saves just like you did. I had a troll barbarian called Lokar, and I loved playing such a feral and monstrous PC. Yeah, well, the thing with Rogue is that sometimes you'd get really lucky. It was like the random number generator would start you out with a lucky number, and then everything you did was really lucky. You kept finding things and things like that.
The two keys at the beginning of Rogue were to find the gain strength potion and the restore strength potion. And if you got those early, and then you got a whole lot of gain strength potions,
you could play the game.
You could probably win.
Yeah,
and certain wands you had to find, and so on.
Yeah, and it's all random, but there was a random number generator that would give you all luck. And then there were other games where you could not get past the first level, so it was an interesting game clock thing.
Outside of Gloriana, what genre of games did you aspire to make back in the day? Role-playing games.
Role-playing games, definitely, but we were going to do Quest for Glory style games in outer space, Quest for Glory style games in Spy versus Spy.
In Russia.
Yes, the
the Tunguska adventure.
But that wasn't actually so much Russia as that was like voyage to the center of the world. That was, we were going to go into the cave at Tunguska and find the mothership that the aliens had
They did
crashed
some
in.
parallel stuff in, what was the TV show, like the X-Files.
Yeah, something like X-Files.
But I think we had the ideas before X-Files came out.
And we were we were going to do a multimedia with it too, and actually have you have a virtual computer that you typed into and things like that. So
we wanted to have you could give it your phone number and we could have the computer call you and give you one of those spam calls telling you that your order for $999 at Amazon needs confirmation.
We were also.
I didn't care for a hack. I played a little bit of net hack, and to me it just wasn't as pure an experience as Rogue because it was too complex. So I like the simplicity of Rogue.
Yeah.
Love Dungeon Master.
Oh, we were going to do a Wild West. The Wild Weird West, where if you died, you came back as an undead. So there was no real permadeath. You had to earn the right to come back to live your character again. So you had this weird West with all sorts of, monsters and things like that.
That's what that game was about.
Yeah.
I know I worked on the notes for it, but I didn't know what Lori actually had in mind with it.
No, you did at the time. You talked it all over. But yeah, so we were going to do the idea of there was the upper world, which was under the living, and there was the inner world, the other world, where once you died, you had to, do effectively the same sort of things, but now you were dead in the land of the dead trying to do that. Yeah. Dark Souls would do that 20 years later. Yeah, it was I didn't know. That was what we were trying to do, is to get away from the permadeath idea. Too.
Oh, and I really enjoyed making Castle Dr. Brain. I really wanted to make more puzzle games. We actually came out with, for Transolar Games, a game that we named Puzzle Worthy.
Puzzle Rose.
Well, okay, long ago, but I'm talking recently.
Recently.
Recently, we came out with Puzzle Worthy, and I started trying to come up with puzzles in it, and I got totally stuck trying to come up with any puzzles whatsoever.
Yeah, so we never got very far with that, yes.
Yeah, Puzzle Rose was the website we were going to do. This puzzle-based, and I explained to Lori that people like our friend Richard Aronson are really into puzzles, and I've never really been that much into puzzles.
Yeah, I'm worse. I mean, I don't like adventure games.
So we were the wrong people to be making puzzle games.
But it was your idea, so therefore we're doing it. We'd love to see more Dr. Brain games. I still think we can do Puzzle Worthy if you could get you off your tail.
All I got to do is find some great ideas.
Yeah.
Part of the problem is I gave talks on what I did in Dr. Brain, and that the fact that we had a few fixed puzzles for each one. Yeah. And that I wanted to make them randomized or database driven, so that there would be a wide variety of puzzles.
And you could replay it again and again.
Could replay it, and you wouldn't go through to walkthroughs to do it.
And then we realized
that that's really bad.
But for one thing,
people want to be able to see the walkthroughs.
And they want to be able to solve it, and because it's also making a puzzle is really tough. A good puzzle is a real accomplishment. So.
Well, the one where I was really ahead of my time was that the reason that Sierra switched gears from doing parser-based type-in adventures to doing point-and-click adventures is because Ken Williams wanted to break into the console market. Consoles don't have keyboards, so we needed an interface that would work on consoles. And one of my projects was trying to convert STI to the Sega Genesis CD. I discovered it didn't have enough memory for what we were doing at that point. But anyway, my proposal for that was to do a console and possibly a handheld game like the Game Boy, I think, existed at that point. That would be a Castle Dr. Brain-like brain game. And all of the wise heads of the venture capital business and our management and so on said, no, there's no market for that kind of game. And then Brain Age went out to be a bestseller. So yeah, I think doing brain games for consoles and handhelds would have been a massive win for Sierra, but they wouldn't buy off on it. So that's not our core business.
Yeah. Weird West, modern horror in Tunguska. You two are ahead of your time as well.
Oh, we have a person that we need to ban here. J.D. Sellis. How do I do that? I forget every time.
You have to figure it out each time.
I think it's like...
I haven't read Loader, D&D,
etc.
etc. at the time, but Hack was filled with fragments of the
They're
text from those games. Okay. And missed that when you asked the game to explain what each ASCII character meant. I hear you on Rogue being simpler, pure. Yeah. I had a Game Boy back in the day and would have loved your game. Yeah, it would have been right for that.
So basically we had the Sega Genesis CD, and they brought Willie Beamish to it, and then the guy who ported Willie Beamish worked with me on converting SCI to it, and what I didn't know is that he was having problems with it and disabled the thing that was giving him problems, which is a memory check I had put in to see how much memory was available, and we were running out of memory, and I didn't find that out until 6 or 8 months into the project after this guy had left, because he had turned off my memory checker because he was running up against the loss of memory, and I basically came to the conclusion that we couldn't do the project. There was no way to recover enough memory to do. And the problem with the Sega Genesis is that we had to take the 256 colors. That they didn't do 256 color graphics. They did 64 colors or 32 colors, and they did games you could play with it, like make it dimmer and stuff. So I was going to have to do a complicated dithering thing to convert the graphics to make them look good, and that ate up too much memory. Yeah. Basically taking the full screen and dithering it takes off. So that was the end of the Sega Genesis CD project, which allowed me to get in like the final month of Quest for Glory 3 to do editing and proofreading.
Yep. So at any rate, that's our topic for today. Same as the Amiga palette limitations, right?
Similar, yeah.
It's very similar. They had a different approach, but...
Yeah, for the Atari ST version of SCI, I had to deal with the high-res black and white monitor and the medium-res and low-res modes and color, and they were all different modes, and so I had to basically do different forms of dithering for each screen resolution. And take advantage of the greater number of pixels in the black and white to make the color games look like they were in color, even though they were black and white. So I was very proud of that. I got a lot of help from somebody asked whether John Harris was my mentor. No, it was Bob Heitman was my mentor at Sierra when I started, and brilliant guy that I don't think he had a theater degree or something like that.
Yeah, he didn't have a computer.
So he was not a computer. He was all self-taught on the computer, but very brilliant.
Yeah. So, for the Sega CD, you had to dither on the fly. It couldn't be done ahead of time. It's stored in the CD.
No, not enough space.
Yeah, the whole thing had to be rewritten, and it couldn't be. So, therefore, it didn't. At any rate, it's 4:20.
Yeah, we're over time, but we started late. That's why I ran a little longer.
It doesn't matter.
So, thank you, everyone, for coming. We'll do this again in 2 weeks.
Yep.
What's our next thing?
I don't know. We'll have to figure
it out.
Sewer Shark was fun in a hokey way. Huh?
Sewer Shark. No, I haven't played that. The Untitled Goose Game is a hilarious concept. Yeah. And the Goat Simulator.
4-color computer. Oh my God. Quest for Glory.
Yeah, that's what. Okay.
Yikes.
Cool. Yeah, that's what Sierra Adventure started out in, is CGA mode. 4 colors.
In Scum's reinterpretation of AGI, we added an option to use the high-resolution Hercules fonts. Clever. Okay, at any rate.
Boy, we can go into hours on that.
We can, yeah.
So thank you all for coming, and we are going to end the stream. I did just remember yesterday to post the 2 weeks ago stream up to YouTube, so it is there. And I will hopefully remember to post this one. And so if you want to review this later,
right,
it will be here on Twitch for 2 weeks.
See you
and maybe
again,
on YouTube after that, and maybe gone forever.
Who knows?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.